welcome everybody to the final of Season 2 Emerald League. We are here. I know normally Unicorn is the one that is introducing, but it's going to be me tonight. Void
Yeah,
Bullet
Unicorn
Angel.
is dead.
He is dead. Tonight, also joining me, I have the normal Kamuchi. I have Harvey here on the desk and maybe a little bit in-game. And we have the Season 1 MVP, the Menace, the boy. Frozen Forever is on the desk tonight. So, it's going to be a great game. How you guys feeling about tonight's game?
Honestly, I'm so excited to be here. I think it's gonna be like really interesting and intense. Game 5 kind of battle. I feel it.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I think the matchup between these two, I know it's like a 7 seed versus 1 seed, is kind of like daunting a little bit, but the way that you can look at the matchups across the board, it actually could paint a completely different picture. So we'll go ahead and open it up to predictions here. I'll go ahead and go first just so we can get me out of the way. I'm kind of the way that I see it in the matchups, and we were kind of talking about it pre-draft here or pre-stream, is Bongo's just like the nuts player in this game. I think he and Rain and Itaconic are kind of the three ones that we're going to be watching the entire game. They're kind of the ones that are going to flip the games into their favor. And with the gap in ADC here, not to like disrespect my boy Sniper, but he's just more of a background ADC that is more of like a compliment, more of the cherry on top versus the entire cake. So I'm excited. I still think that the Black Mambas are going to win this series. I'm giving it to them 3-2. But let's go ahead and go over to Kamuchi. What about you? What's your feeling tonight?
I still think that Rain and Itaconic are still they're a lot better at just keep having a lead and just keeping that lead throughout the entire game. So I'm more in favor of them taking over the games and having Black Mambas 3-1.
Nice. All right, what about you, Frozen? What's your feeling going into this series?
So I experienced firsthand the waffles getting beat down by the Obongo train 2 times. once in the playoffs, once in the end of the season game. But I also got like 17-minute loss versus the Black Mambas, and all I can say is if you can slow down Itaconic and just pace your way into the games, ban Udyr, of course. If you can, bring yourself to put Obongo ahead, I think this series should look a little bit different than what it normally does. But if they can't take control of those objectives, if they can't make sure that they're positioned properly to, be in the lead and in charge, I think it's going to be a lot tougher. And I think Lizzo actually has to gap Crab. I think Lizzo is going to be huge this series. Like, he has to pretend that Crab is Sonic and just like try as hard as he fucking can, because it's going to be really hard if he just goes even and everyone else is just even or behind and Obongo's the only one ahead.
Yeah, does this mean that you're rooting for your fellow Season 1 champion Lizzo?
Yeah, that's what it means. I think Feast or Famine is going to win it 3-2. I think I think Feast or Famine is going to take this one. And it's no disrespect to anybody, but I don't think that the bot lane will be able to keep up. I saw what he did to Arctic in game 4. I saw what he did to Arctic in game 2 and game 1. And I think that they'll be able to really exploit the bot lane like other teams weren't able to do. So I will say 3-2 Feast or Famine, and Lizzo gets his Big Mac after.
Nice. And
Nice.
I do have a couple of questions for you, Frozen, specifically since you've played against both of these teams. But before we get to those questions, go ahead and Harvey, what do you feel is the series? What's your prediction here?
Okay, yeah, certainly. So Mambas definitely looks weaker than I expected going into the Shorks team, especially if it's the sub top on Shorks. They were had a rough go of it. Definitely not an immortal team in the league here, based on what I've seen in the previous series. And Feast Fam looked pretty good across the board last week. So very close, I think. But I would end up still edging out 3-2 for Mambas in the end.
Okay. Well, there you go. So what I want to ask you, Frozen, specifically is about these mid laners. You've played against both of them, and I'm pretty sure it's relatively it's relatively known that Rain is a lot better than Sean in terms of movement and lane and stuff like that. But where do you think that Rain is exploitable? Like where do you think Feast or Famine is going to find like a way to limit Rain's production in these games?
You have to pick an uninteractive mid laner. So the way that it's kind of hard to explain it, but the way that if I had my go and my choose on how to play it, Rain's whole thing is I'm not gonna beat you in lane. I'm gonna beat your team out of lane. I'm gonna beat your team at every team fight. I'm gonna be ahead of you in CS. I'm gonna be ahead of you in resources. And when the team fight starts, I'm just going to out team fight you and beat you by taking care of your carry and making sure that he doesn't play. So I would say that great champions that limit his playstyle would be something maybe like Veigar. I don't think like Ishan picked LeBlanc into me twice. He picked LeBlanc into me twice. He picked Veigar once, and then I forgot what else he picked. But those assassins that have to get an early lead won't cut it here. They will not cut it here. I think he has to go Mage. He has to go Veigar. He has to go Lissandra. He has to go something that he can shut down. He can shut down and limit Solar Rain once he's out of team fight. You have to think about what to do around objectives because Solar Rain is not gonna like destroy you 1v1.
Look, you can go the pro strat of just picking Malzahar. Okay.
Seraphine, Seraphine all the way. Straight Seraphine.
Yeah.
No interact.
Yeah, I just have a lot of concern because what we watched last week for you is that Ishan played 3 different styles of champions with the LeBlanc, the Veigar, and I think it was Syndra. Or am I missing? But he played like aggro and then backline. But either way, you still won the matchup. And Rain is kind of on that level with you. So I'm just, even if he picked those limiting champions, I'm a little concerned that they're still not going to be able to bring him down enough to where he can't just make, all of the plays in lane. Basically just bongo out of the. So. Yeah,
no, I definitely agree, and I just looked it up. It was Silas.
Silas, that's what it was. Okay.
It's hard for me to kind of just sit here and say, yeah, it's going to be like it's gonna be easy for Ishan to definitely make up for the fact that there's a bit of a skill gap, but that's where those easy champions come from. Those like actual easy champions where you don't have to like, really have any mechanics or interact. And, even if you have to play something like Malzahar mid, Veigar, even if he's going to pick something like something AD and you do the Lizzo special where you play Malphite mid, it's better to lose out in one perspective, lose out in your ego, but win big with your team.
Gotcha.
That's what he has to be willing to sacrifice something to come out on top.
Okay. Gotcha. That's some good insight there. I do want to flip it here since we do have the privilege of having Harvey here. I want to.
Yay, Harvey!
Yeah, Harvey. I want to get your. I mean, obviously, we've already talked a little bit about Bongo versus Sniper. What's your analysis of Neos versus Tomato? Because I think that's a much closer, like support for support. A much closer kind of bridge there. What do you think about the match, Neos?
It's very tough because these players have weird pools. I don't think they're targetable in pick ban phase at all. I would maybe throw a Heimer Dinger ban in there against Tomato. I don't know. That's really worth that because the pools are just weird. These two players. Directly though, I think they're pretty closer than they would seem. These two players. playing against both of them, they felt pretty decent in lane especially. So I can't really give an edge to either one of them. I wish I could. I just need more time. I would need to play more games against them, but
just needed to get a couple more games into them.
yeah.
Okay, good. I still think that a lot of this game is gonna, and I guess maybe I haven't touched on it yet, but the jungle. I know we talked about Ediconic just kind of running rampant, the way that you've talked about trying to limit him, Frozen. It's just so hard to limit him, and all of his pool, even just kind of as a side note, like scrimming against your team, like he still just does whatever he wants essentially, whenever he wants. His tempo is just insane. How well he's able to keep up farm and keep up tempo on the. So, do you think, Frozen? Do you think there's anything that Feast or Famine? Because you got a peek at them last week. Is there anything that they could do this week to kind of slow Ediconic down?
Man. Damn, I was about to say Piper. Phoenix. Phoenix. Yeah, I know him as a personal friend. Phoenix actually has to. Man, they have to. He has to like absolutely smurf it, in my opinion. He can't do like this lackadaisical, like play that he's been doing lately that he got away with by playing with Matt either, where it was like, oh, let me just repeat gank bot lane and make sure Obongo's gonna get fed, but hey, I'm also falling behind in CS and I'm not keeping up with the jungler. There was like certain scenarios where it was like, Matt, you're much stronger than this guy because he's sitting bot lane. Do something with your lead. And sometimes we were in the game because he was falling behind in CS and letting us take over his jungle sometimes. Phoenix has to like actually not fall behind. He has to like take care of business and match Ida at the same time, which is something that I don't know if he's capable of doing, but it will definitely make this series a lot more interesting if he's able to do that. Because his whole philosophy is like, hey, I'm going poor dirt Maokai build, which is like Evan Shroud, into like something else, and it's like it's like, dude, for God's sake, you can build so much better than that. Come on, man. So
he's gonna be on top of it this week.
He does. This is much harder for him, much harder.
Yeah, because even Witch last week took him for a ride in a couple of games, like the Jarvan game specifically, just kind of out macroed him and completely out jungled him in the first 20 minutes of the game. So if that happens, it's going to get a lot worse, because Ediconic has shown very well that he can just take over a game 1v9, especially on these assassin picks, which really nobody else is playing Kha'Zix or Kindred outside of Gale. I guess Gale was playing the Lily and whatnot, but outside of that, Edeconic's the only one playing these hyper carry junglers, and if he gets out of control, it's I don't think they've lost when he had like 5 kills.
I definitely experienced that Kha'Zix
the one shot Kha'Zix button.
Yeah, I definitely like experienced it myself. I'm winning mid, and then I look over to 2 seconds and I see Kha'Zix is 6-0. I was like, oh, thanks Nasashi, thanks Arctic. Haha.
Well, we are finally. It's like we are finally getting into pick bans. What do you think is going to be? Because all BO5s always, the meta is always going to shift. So, what do you guys think that the meta is going to flip into this one? Think we're going to see anything new or anything surprising in this series?
I mean,
no Heimerdinger.
Yeah, no Heimerdinger.
no Heimerdinger. I think we all believe in that.
There's gonna be no Udyr, no Heimerdinger.
You were talking about a lot about bending Bongo's Kaylin. You mean
Kaylin.
like long range AD carry?
Yeah, I think I don't see why Jinx is a blue side. I think Jinx should be a red side ban. I think Jinx is probably the strongest AD carry next to Caitlyn. If you ban Caitlyn, you get the Jinx. So I don't know if Sniper's just not comfortable with that, or maybe they want the Caitlyn instead, so they're willing to take the.
They might just opt for a safe Ezreal pick, honestly. If that is what this is.
Ezreal, boring lane.
Oh, there you go. There's Frozen. There's the Viger that you were calling there a minute ago.
Yeah.
Limiting.
Yeah.
Grade. Nope, not having that today.
Moonlight GF. Who's that support? Is that
they have a substitute support going into this game
Oh.
Oh,
because they currently can't find Neos. So
Oh wait,
no.
is that an e-girl? Oh my god, Obongo's winning for sure today. There's no way he loses.
he's got blood right now.
is
God
this a
dang.
buff?
Okay, those are the bans I honestly expected from Black Mambas.
Except Akali. Akali's
Crab.
on the board.
I think they're willing to trade out for Akali, especially if they
Or they
look
can
at
first
our
pick
series.
Rain. Rain does play it, and I
He
don't think
does, yeah.
Rain is too
Yeah, but I
afraid.
feel like you give over the Caitlyn though. You just straight up give over the Caitlyn Lux. Ooh,
Oh, and
shows
neither.
the will.
Yeah.
Okay.
First picking.
All
is
right, so look, I
Oh.
got some insight on this where Sejuani is just OP, according to Black Mambas.
Well,
Oh, nerf Sejuani. All right.
Because they flex it between top.
well, I don't. No, Ida Conic will not play Sejuani for.
Yeah.
It'll probably
This
top.
is-
For
I'm assuming this would be a
tease.
crab pick because
Yeah.
It is.
from
So
what I've
wow.
heard that
We
It's a
have
Sedge
top
pick.
laners going in the first round. Yay! That's
get
going
the top
against the
round.
meta, boys. Let's go.
Just
All
picture
right.
shit, Yeah.
as we're seeing a Swain Zaya going into ball.
Really?
Ooh,
I'm
that's-
surprised.
All right.
That's
That's it.
Like,
All of our draft strategies are out the,
Yeah, I
out the
know, right?
window. Everything we thought of
we're
was
the
gone.
worst analysts in the league
Yep,
apparently.
Everything we thought was gone. Caitlyn's still up. Bongo didn't want it.
Another
Now Caitlyn
opportunity
goes back.
for him to take it away.
I mean, I honestly prefer the Zaya being picked here than rather than the Caitlyn. Because he has like self peel. And knowing that they're going to go that composition where it's like, from what I heard, they're like their ADC is just full on like utility. It kind of helps out that Obongo doesn't have to deal with like, oh, I got hit by a random Sejuani R. He can just negate that by like having fingers and just pressing R. So I mean, I know that it's somewhat of a comfort for Obongo, especially since I'm his teammate. But I'm kind of also surprised that he passed up on the Caitlyn. But I do know that he complains a little bit with wow, most uninteractive bot lane in the game. So you know.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's
The edge there. As this Zaya wasn't safe enough.
Yeah.
Not the most synergistic bot lane, but that could
this
still
is-
be
Yeah.
top. Could still be top.
I feel like
Each
if
top
you
lane, but
they could move the Swain around, but I mean regardless, Zaya is the short range AD carry into two long range laners. That would be my primary
Yeah.
concern.
there's a lot of poke going into the ball lane currently.
That would also be my concern if well, besides tomato, but if like if sniper was, I wouldn't say like better, but it would be my concern if they were able to like had an ADC that's able to exploit that difference. I might be wrong, but you know, hopefully I am, because it'll surprise people if he kind of like poops on Obongo.
I mean, Ashe is also relatively safe for just utility in the long run, especially if they want Sniper to just be utility. Well, Wukong got all the way through draft up until this point to be
Also,
red
that's
four.
That's a steal.
What an
Also-
absolute steal!
we're still in the current that newest patch. That is nerfed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is it nerfed Wukong? Are we on new patch? Oh yeah, we are on new patch.
We are
Okay,
on
so
new
this
patch,
is
yeah.
nerfed.
Oh.
Okay, so this is nerfed Wukong. We are on nerfed Wukong. Okay, so it is not as good. Okay, we're fibbing. We're not. This is an LCS. We
I'm-
don't
I'm
get to play in
surprised
the
this
back patch.
I'm surprised Mamba started bending more mid laners after seeing both Tom Catch and Swain, because I believe Swain is more of an Ishan pick than anything.
I think it's so flexible.
I would say, I honestly say
There it
it's
is.
Tom Kench
They're too young.
support,
They
There's-
left it up.
Rain's ready,
Yeah.
ready to throw down.
ready to
I'm-
throw down.
I mean, Mamba could have also just gone the
Echo
Yasuo
jungle.
Diana, but
I
it
can't
looks
think
like we're
we're
getting
Iconic
into
as
Idaconic's carry junglers right now.
well.
I honestly, I honestly see him just running this game over if he gets a lead. The
Yeah.
ability to go in and out of fights. Okay, and then we get the Annie, which I don't believe they. No, they did nerf her. No, they
Okay.
did. They did nerf Annie on this patch.
Okay, so here's my theory right now. Tom Kench top, Swain mid, Annie support.
That would be my guess as well, unless they really
Sean
want
has
to
put a
move
little bit of Annie as well.
to mid.
Wouldn't be surprised there.
Because Annie is decent into Yone for just him going in and drop everything onto him.
Yeah.
I know the stun is relatively. I mean, it's good both mid and bot.
Not as
I mean,
much
the only
support
thing-
this patch as well. That the shield definitely hits support very hard. The cooldown especially.
Also it was mainly late game Annie that was affected though.
Yeah.
Early game Annie is still pretty good, so we'll have to see where this leads to. I guess leading into this game, what are you guys' predictions on draft? Who do you think has a better draft right now? Starting with, I guess, Void.
Yeah, I like Mamba's draft a bit better. I think it's a little easier to play. I guess Feast or Famine also have just kind of a general team fight comp where they just kind of are gonna brawl you with the TK, the Wukong, and the Swain. The Mambas they can play front to back, but they also have the assassination potential with Iconic because he can play from over walls, look for the Xayah, force Bongo to use his ult just to get away. Or I guess it depends on how good the Annie is on the W stun to just delete Iconic before he could play the game. You know, full Jensen mode, but we'll see. I give the slight edge to Mambas because I think the comp is a little easier to play. Well, actually, no. The easier comp to play is Feast or Famine. You know what? I'll flip it. I'm going to say Feast or Famine have the better draft here and the easier draft to play. It's a little bit more consistent across the board with just pure team fighting. So I'm going to go with Feast or Famine. I like their draft a little bit more. But what about you, Frozen? Why don't we flip it to you? What's your opinion on this draft? Since you know a lot of these players and play with them a lot.
I played against this exact same team comp, except they had an Urgot top lane. In our game, and once mid game comes around, if Yone is able to it depends on where they put the Swain. If this Swain goes mid, I don't think that it's playable for Feast or Famine. If it's like Swain support and Annie mid, I think there's a really good chance that Feast or Famine can win this because Swain just gets hard abused by Yone. And a Swain from behind feels like the squishiest target you've ever faced in your life. It doesn't feel good because you have to actually run into them and you get two tapped, and it really sucks. I think Black Mambas are gonna take this game. In fact, I put 5K on them.
Oh.
5.
I'm with you.
Okay,
I put 5K on them in the predictions. No, yeah. I think that Black Mambas just have the more the better more fluid kind of team fighting composition thing. I think if Echo gets some sort of a lead, it's gonna be impossible for Obongo to play. For all of that, I think it's gonna be a little bit much more difficult. They don't have the hard CC that you'd expect from like a team fighting. They have to wait for the rotation on the Annie cooldown. Then you have to make sure that the Wukong has his R. And then even the E from Swain, you have to wait on that one to come back the second time around for it to actually CC. So I think if Echo is able to dodge those two abilities, he's just gonna be able to free run around the map and just take over and make Obongo's life unplayable and Phoenix's life unplayable too. So hopefully I'm wrong. I would love to see game 1 go over to Feast or Famine, but I think that Black Mama's drafted really well here.
What about you, Kamuchi? What are your opinions on this draft?
Yeah, I just think Black Mamas have the ability to execute a lot better. But in an ideal world, Bongo's able to dodge everything and is able to output as much damage as possible. I still want to see Feast or Famine take it, to be honest. This draft, they definitely have the ability to do so, and Again, I agree with Frozen in the fact that if they put Swain support and any mid, that would be a lot harder matchup for the Yone to actually abuse than a Swain who really just has to land the claw or else Yone will run over him.
Gotcha. What about you, Harvey? Real quick before we go ahead and hit intermission, what do you feel is the better draft here?
Definitely, yeah. Mambas has very clear engage conditions. Easy to follow. Astral, Seraphine, very easy. It does come into issues with damage. If like Rain falls behind in this game, their damage is minimal, most likely. So if he plays disrespectful in the mid lane and gets clapped up by Phoenix, their comp runs into trouble. Otherwise, it's really easy to play. Very clear engage tools. Should be Mamba's favorite in this draft, in my opinion.
Awesome. Well, with that, we're going to go ahead and throw it to intermission until the game starts for our first game of the finals, Black Mambas in Feast or Famine. And welcome back to game one of Black Mambas versus Feast or Famine, the finals here, the last 5 games potentially of Emerald League Season 2. So game one, we talked a lot in draft about where this Annie was going to go. Looks like it is going mid, which excited all of us because that is a much better matchup for the mid laner into the Yone. So definitely more excited for this game. I feel like we all kind of, in a consensus, knew that it was going to be a bit of a rough matchup for Swain if he doesn't go bot lane instead of mid. So excited to see that that's where he finally.
Yeah, and the Swain is actually really good into both of these champions. All things because with this max range claw, a lot of people really disrespect the claw and how much you can actually do to pull people instantly with max range. As we're getting intermissioned currently.
Software is a little messy right now, but
I
will-
definitely wiped that sweat off my face as soon as I saw the Annie mid. I was like,
Whew, much
nice.
better.
Whew. This Swain can play. Yeah.
This Swain gets to play the lane and is way
Yeah.
more impact in the bot lane since the threat level there is much higher.
Yeah, if we could see the game, that would be a lot better, so that we can see how laning goes. But
Okay.
and welcome back to Emerald League Finals, Game 1, as we're having some tech difficulties on the production side.
But it's okay. Now we are back and we are getting into the game now. So I don't know if everybody got to hear our little bit of conversation earlier where we're really excited that the Annie was going mid to actually threaten the lane a lot more than what we were potentially thinking if they decided to put the Swain into mid lane. But the matchup is much worse. So excited to see that they had done that. Now I think what we want to pay attention a lot to here in the early game, other than the bot lane trading that is going on down here, is the jungle positioning. Seeing where these junglers are going to move early in the game, where they're going to put their pressure down.
Yeah, as we do currently only have one side's vision inside the game right now. We were talking a lot about how much better the mid lane matchup was with Annie and Yon. We were talking about especially the Swain support and how these max range claws can easily get onto the range of these two long range ball laners of Black Mambas. A lot of people tend to disrespect it. There's a lot of burst and poke potential you can get as well. Well, so we'll see how well Moonlight is actually able to, considering that she is their sub currently. Professor Famine.
Yeah, and I mean, right now the matchups are working out really well, mostly for Black Mambas. I think the only thing they're really struggling with is top lane, and I really think that's just farming. But we're actually getting our first gank top lane. See if Idaconic's able to clean up this kill here.
Yeah, this is really low. He popped the shield for Grey Health, and that's just first blood for Idaconic. You can already see the game plan that they were going for. We mentioned how much the Idaconic's Echo really likes to snowball in the early game, especially when
Ishan?
you have Ishan sort of expecting.
I love disrespectful there.
There's a huge wave coming in, actually. They might be looking for a dive here. This is huge if he loses this entire wave.
You can see Idaconic is already setting up for it as...
Uh-oh.
Oh, the stun onto the Echo!
Stun.
That was so
Wow.
well played. Oh,
Holy!
he almost dies for it also.
Range just out.
He is going to lose the wave for it, which is a lot here. Maybe not the entire wave because he's got teleport, but he's going to lose a decent amount of the wave here. It's 3, 4, 5. Yeah, he's going to lose a majority of the wave. And Bongo actually just opted to look for Idaconic there. Hopefully,
Good on Moonlight for holding this wave here too.
Yeah.
And they're not punishing him for holding it either.
No, not getting a punish there. Sniper was able to recoup a lot of that early deficit in farm. Oh, that is unfortunate. His back getting stopped there, but
I love Swain
for a little bit of that. We love Swain as an AD carry player. God, absolutely. Unless I'm playing that champion.
Yeah.
Oh no,
It's
even worse. Bad
Sniper.
worse.
That's... Oh, he's gonna get a wave push underneath tower now, and he's gonna lose that entire wave. That just feels bad, man. Both backs getting cancelled.
This is dangerous for Ishan.
No flash on the
Immediately going
Annie.
in.
Oh, the stun is able to help protect her.
Wow.
Well, both
Ishan
stuns by
just-
Ishan have
low
just
deficit.
protected it
Oh my
from the
word.
kill. But I'm not
Oh,
sure if
walk
he's
back
able
up
to
again.
stay longer.
Oh,
No stun.
He's dead.
Oh, he's dead. Oh no.
no!
Phoenix Flash, maybe?
We do have flash for Phoenix.
Oh,
He is going to
God.
go for it, but he is going to trade.
That's just gonna be execute. Yeah, he didn't get hit there. Look,
out-
okay, you call that value play, okay?
Worth
All right.
big money is time.
The fast
Time is
back,
money.
Fast boop
Yep.
for Wukong.
Game is already starting off with a banger. Loads
but-
of mid lane disrespect from Ishan, deciding to walk up back without 6 or stun with you know, with Rain not having flash, but also having his third Q up.
Yeah,
This
but
is a
with
dangerous fight.
This is pretty big.
Idicon is sort of in a bit of danger. Tomatoes alone in the
Halo
pit.
melee range.
Oh, Sniper is gone.
And Sniper's dead. Solar Rain doesn't have R, so he can't really look to clean that up either.
Well, a little bit of a greedy play here. Yeah, Phoenix doesn't have Smite, so they kind of have to walk it out a little bit. Oh, in top lane, we actually are getting a fight up here. Looks like Lizzo's getting the better of Slap Crab here. See if maybe he gets this cute. There it is. And the solo kill coming in for Lizzo on this Tom Kench, which I think we all imagined it was going to be going bot lane at the start of this, and then, you know, kind of forgot about it after they picked Swain and Andy, but already working out quite well. Oh, this even looks more like a dive angle here. This Annie pick not really working out as they intended. Yep, and getting solo killed plus another plate there. Absolutely just getting ran over here. Even with this Annie pick, which we were happy to see, unfortunately, it's just not working out for them.
As we will have a bit of more issues on the technical side, as it looks like our spectator had crashed.
Spectator, we love the League client. It is crashed, but I currently am still in the spectate, as mine has not crashed yet. So as of right now, we are watching as Rain got 3 plates there.
Okay, we'll just hear the entire casting from Void's perspective.
Yep. Nothing is going on right now. Just farming, other than 1,300 gold in the pocket of IC Rain here, as he absolutely stomping this lane. Which we are back in perspective. We do have that. I think this game is getting where the money is where the Black Mambas really want that money to be. It's all in on the mid laner and all in on the jungler, where, you know, bot lane is getting thrashed quite a bit here, but they know where they want their money in this game.
It's utility bot lane. They can be as far behind as they want. They can get value off their abilities. So
yeah, the Ash Arrow is always going to be able to hit something, and the Seraphine ult can always just clean up an entire fight just by, you know, the ulti value. So the gold lead might be really close, but in terms of the game state, much in favor of the Black Mambas.
Yeah, especially if they're gonna push their lead into this mid lane after they get the Red Herald. I assume that this would just be funneled into mid with Rain and Ebiconic sharing the gold, as they're already running over, and they're just such snowballing players. They get an early lead, and this is what we were talking about, where you're gonna have to
this
put
wave
some
control.
pressure.
yeah, it's a rare sight to see Ash Seraphine not fully pushing to someone's tower. The power they have, but
I love this wave control from the Feast or Famine. It's really showing that they're taking care of everything.
Yeah, poor Ishan is just getting perma ganked by Idiconic right now. It is able to stay alive, but the moment the flash is down, there's so much threat onto the Annie, as Rain is gonna get jumped on.
Ulti.
No stun for the Annie.
Oh, huge from Phoenix.
Oh.
Huge.
Double knock with the Wukong ulti, and that just secures the kill onto Rain, which is some much needed gold for the mid lane. Although that mid lane tower now is down 4 plates, almost dead before 14 minutes, so that's just a lot of gold.
Yeah, and here we were praising Rain when he's sitting on 1,300 gold anyways. He should have really taken the base a lot sooner so he could have just collected that gold, and they didn't really need to press that hard. There's a lot of money. He had such a lead sitting in his pocket, and in a very hand-mine way, just kind of tossed it away because he got a little greedy for an extra wave. So, unfortunately,
player mentality.
Yeah. Shoutouts to the previous Waffles captain.
Shout out to the previous
season 1.
Oh, we are getting a gank here.
Open her up.
Oh,
Jesus, you right?
Gets stuck and absolutely removed from the game before he can pop the shield. Echo already doing his thing where he just one-shots you before you can, you know, do anything. So, unfortunate there for Lizzo. It looks like he may have been able to outplay since Ida was so low, but not able to get that gray screen off, or the gray health off of him. Massive trade from the Swain. That power of that Swain showing up here.
The max range claw is what you have to be worried about, as the Ash arrow whiffs. You can see Rain was trying to look for something in the ball lane, but without the CC, that's not gonna be able to converge into a kill. if you look at the gold currently, we are currently standing at an even gold set right now. Well, a lot of that gold lead for Feast of Famine is from the early dragon,
lord.
and now for the 40 CS deficit between both ball laners. So it's
Oh my
if they
lord.
if Black Mambas don't actually keep the Xayah in check, it's gonna be a bit rough for them to actually get onto the Xayah in the first place.
It looks like they are bringing the Swain mid. He has no idea that the Echo is here.
As ulti can stall.
Yeah, no, that's just gonna be an instant bursted. No way into the lane, no way out of the death. It's just
Even exhaust burn there for the Swain, but didn't even have the opportunity to burn the flash. Just only exhaust. But I mean, we're seeing this 1,200 gold lead for Bongo here in the bot lane. I wonder if he's going to be able to, 1v9 this game essentially, because his mid laner is relatively behind. His top laner had a massive lead on this Sejuani, but two really good timed ganks and from Itaconic kind of brought the matchup between Sedge and Tom Kench back. So they're going to have to start finding some opportunities to get, this gold off of Itaconic, or he's going to just scale way faster in the game. He already has his mythic along with Bongo here, but that mythic from the Echo is going to be spread out way further up the map a little bit sooner in the game. But it looks like they're making a play here.
As the Seraphine ulti gets used in the beginning, but that might not be enough as the swing call lands on the Seraphine and just secures a kill for Obongo, getting that AD carry funneled, and now with the 50 CS lead, 1 assist and one kill over the enemy AD carry, Obongo is huge right now.
He's rich.
Ishan.
Ishan is now alone in the mid lane though, as no flash, no way to stun the enemy underneath the tower to live long enough, and it's just another death for the Annie. This perma gank is not going to go well, as another brawl is top lane. Is this going to converge into something?
Yeah, we're just getting a top
There's
lane
so much
brawl
action.
up here. There's so much going on.
Oh my gosh, as the dive comes in for the ball lane, as Sniper runs to the feathers and dies immediately. Both summoners used for the Xayah, but that's not over yet, as we're getting a top lane
Top lane
dive
is also
onto
getting
Lizzo.
dope at the same time.
I clipped the
The
flash.
1v1 is not real in top lane, as both Rain and Ediconic had just been brought up there.
Even the wet noodle tank fight. It's there below.
There's action everywhere going on in this map, but right now, a lot of the winning play is going over to Black Mambas. The top lane is going to suffer significantly more there with the tower going down. Even though Bongo now up on gold farm, he's still 1,000 gold behind both Rain and Itaconic in terms of items and just gold in general. So the money coming from Rain and Itaconic is already starting to show up across
That's
the map.
actually really fun. Ediconic and Rain have exactly the same amount of gold with each other
Yeah.
in terms of resources per bit. That's actually great. But it did go into the favor of Black Mambas, as with both of their turret dives, it did converge into a turret kill and a lot of global gold going in for them. So now we see approximately like 2k gold lead coming in for them, and we'll see if they're gonna be able to converge that into another Rift Herald, as they have so much pressure in this top side right now.
And it looks like they're already bringing Tomato up. He's going to start clearing and they're looking for this, but Rain is overextended here. The jump start.
Ulti's just
Yeah,
let
Phoenix
up.
is gonna start off with a Wukong ulti, but Rain has the 3 the
Q3.
blade dash is secured, and it's not gonna be too much, as Rain does go back in, goes in for a small trade, maybe pushing his luck a little bit. Gets slow, has to use the ult to get out.
ult is not worth typically.
No, burning a lot of... Oh, we are going to get another fight here. It looks like everybody's walking over to the Herald.
The Sejuani gets eaten by the Tom Kench, as all Feast or Famine is just converging on...
Oh, and
as
a massive ult!
Huge! Lands on the entirety of Feast or
But
Famine.
Swain is getting
now we
his
have
full stack off.
Itaconic going in, trying to find a curl.
Yeah, Pharaoh's coming.
It's on less than 100 HP, and it gets shut down by the Annie.
Wow.
Huge words from the Swain there, just running through the enemy too. I don't know why Ediconic pressed R to go back in.
I think he was relying on just killing the Wukong and just escaping out the back, but didn't work out that way, and I think he got stunned up or rooted or somehow, because he stood there for a little bit longer before he could retreat out and eventually died to the Leandries from the Annie. But Yeah, there we go. We were talking that the superior team fighting from, or just like the superior team fighting champions coming in, they're kind of won Feast or Famine that fight and got him a little bit more gold, especially that shutdown off of the Echo, much needed gold into Ishan's pocket.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
the main carries are fun.
It's very scary once you see like an Annie start getting items, because it's like, okay, what is my Ashe or my Seraphine going to do if they're being like absolutely one shot every fight? It's hard. So I'm really excited to see at least this Annie not fall behind too far. Merc treads.
You can
I
see
mean, I
3
guess.
merc treads being built for Feast of
I mean,
Famine. They're really
I
afraid
mean,
of the echo
I
damage mainly.
guess.
They do have a lot of
Merc
CC.
treads.
Value
Yeah.
is really huge for the CC
Yeah.
reduction, but
Four
Yeah.
Merc treads, but
It is kind of alright because a lot of Yon's damage is also with the
magic.
built-in magic damage as well.
No, that's why.
It's I think here's the plan, right? A lot of the enemy, they don't care too much about sniper. They have a
it's
carry
like we're
Edaconic,
right
they have
here.
Sejuani who does a lot of magic damage, and they have a Seraphine. So that's just a lot of CC in general for Merc Treads value.
I forgot. I forgot that Ash's E is also AP relying.
Oh, yes, true.
You're right.
Yeah. Because they save all their CC for for Rain only, right?
It looks
Because
like they're
that's the only
here.
threat after they build a CC. But
Rain is
Tomatoes
starting to
are
push
in
it
an
in. I don't
awkward
think
spot.
Fight
Gets
with
stunned up
Ooh.
by the Annie as the knockup is coming
Goes through.
in. The Seraphine ulti is blown, but that's not gonna be
Huge.
enough to save her.
Yeah,
as
but Rain is just
Feast of
pushing the
Famine.
mid wave. He's
Feast
just
of
pushing
Famine
his
now have
push down.
control over the dragon. They're just gonna start this as Rain is getting the macro play of just shoving in mid lane, trying to get some damage. He might just
Yeah, they
continue on the
should-
mid lane as it looks like Black Mambas are going to give this up.
This is a steal angle here from Edaconic. He has a much higher instant. Yep, there it
Oh.
is. Exactly. What a steal! Jumping into the pit and just absolutely one-shotting it with the, with the follow-up from Sheen. Once he has that
Rain is
Lich
still
Bane, it's
going.
gonna be
Rain
even
is still
higher.
pushing the side.
Yeah, this is actually a tragedy for Feast of Famine as Rain is able to get a mid tower. It kind of gets a burst onto
Oh, they
the
might find
dragon,
him here.
and
He has ulti.
he doesn't have an escape currently. He gets knocked up. He flashes
Oh.
over.
What a flash!
Oh, the ulti! Oh no!
Oh,
He's not able to get through because the burn from the Annie. He denies the Hex Gate.
Oh, almost a perfectly laid plan, but a bot lane tower picked up for Edaconic. That is so much money as well. 600 gold over there. What an absolute spaghetti
Yeah,
fight! Everything just went in Black Mamba's favor in that overall grand scheme of things.
Look, they sacrifice 2 kills and they get three huge objectives of the mid tier 2, the bot lane tier 2, and the dragon itself. So now they're well on their way to just having a huge power spike currently, but it's still a really close game if Feast or Famine are able to find some really good team fights, especially after this Baron spawns. We'll see if they're able to.
I mean, I would also we can or go ahead, Frozen. Go ahead and talk.
I was just gonna add on to Kamuchi's point where it's I definitely see the angles that you guys were talking about, like this Seraphine is was a great point of view from where what the Feast or Famine want to do. It's like you catch them out and what can they do? You get your stun, you have Wukong ult knocking you up, you have Lizzo knocking you up, and then you have the Swain E coming back. So I'm starting to be a believer of this Feast or Famine's team comp right now. Echo didn't get a huge lead, so it's honestly it's winnable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bongo hasn't died yet. He has over 100 CS over his lane opponent, but the main... I really want to see the gold comparison between Bongo and Edaconic currently, as... Yeah, you can see a lot of the gold is funneled into the mid jungle, and it's gonna be up to Bongo to try and even up that gold, or at least try and contest them for these upcoming team fights.
Yeah, Bongo's gonna have to put in a lot of work, especially with 2 assassins diving right on top of him, which they do have the tools with the Annie and the Wukong and the Tahm Kench to protect Bongo, but he has to consistently put out this DPS as really nobody else on his team has a high amount of DPS. You've
And they're
got the
low
swing
range,
survivability.
very low range comp.
They are very low range comp versus that, but they also have like slows and a lot of AoE between the Swain, and the Wukong, and the Annie. But if they get the right assassinations, or if anything, if they just side lane for the rest of the game, like who's gonna match Rain here? Nobody on Feast or Famine can match him. So they could just essentially send him into the side lane and just start pushing and threatening the Baron pressure.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they don't have the damage for Baron.
Starting
But
to question Lizzo's mythic choice as well. Maybe with the what's it called, Frozen Gauntlet mythic. Maybe you can hang with
As Rain just insta kills, solo kills Ishan, there goes a lot of that CC burst damage that Feast of Famine have, and they might just take over.
And Tomato's getting soloed. Tomato's getting soloed by Baron.
Oh, they had the flank there. Oh, no, they are pulling it away. They all have to respond here to Rain as he's just pushing in the side lane tower. I don't know if they actually can win this fight.
Coming in from Wukong, as Baron's gonna get started over for Black Mambas, but Rain will take this any time as he's able to blow so much from the Wukong. He's not gonna be able to get back in time. Oh, but they do. The Baron's so slow. Wait a second.
Yeah.
They don't have the main damage dealer. Ashen is only on one item.
Sniper is very, very weak.
Probably counter Baron here.
Oh, there's the 100 CS difference that we were looking.
Yeah.
Nothing is happening in Baron for Black Mamba.
Oh, that was a womp
womp
moment.
Yeah, I guess Rain without ult probably can't win that, but if he had ulti, he could probably at least take the Wukong out. Oh.
Oh no!
Oh, Sejuani getting caught here.
Sejuani getting caught.
Grab is gone. Oh my god!
You can see the Ashe is not a good contender at the moment.
Oh, Rain is TPing top. Looks like they're gonna just concede the dragon here and look for more plates in the side lane because they probably
that steal.
They are gonna get a teleport out. Maybe they go ahead and look for the Baron instead. It actually looks like they're pinging on it.
Yeah, they're just gonna start the Baron right away as they do have Rain now.
Who does have
immediately. Damage. For the Baron.
But Rain here, you basically have, 2 80 carries on this at this point, so they can burn through this really quickly.
It looks like Lizzo's gonna go in there and try and disrupt things, but he's kind of got bursted. It's gonna be a 4v4 straight up. As Rain gets a huge 2-man knock up into the circle, into the ulti, into the backline.
Oh no!
They're just gonna Feast Famine is just gonna get massacred. As Wukong won't have much time to live. Oh, the Tibbers! And
Tibbers
the Wukong is actually living so long here. Almost gets another trade kill, but that's Baron on 3 members of Black Mambas and 2 for 4 going over to them.
Oh man. Or Moonlight Girlfriend here should have popped R before going in. Oh, that was so painful to watch.
Mythic at 25 minutes almost. It's a little
almost there, guys.
With the lead they had bot lane, I'm surprised they don't have Mythic at this point.
Yeah,
we're almost there.
It's a Dark Seal, okay?
Dark Seal angle.
The Dark Seal angle.
What a close fight afterward. Bongo able to kill Itaconic there, surviving with like 3 HP. Itaconic had ulti, got full Jensen there, saving it for Worlds. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was just rude and he couldn't use it, but he also, I believe, finished his Rabadon's death cap after that fight, which means anything that he touches is going to get removed from the game. So Bongo here just trying to pick up as much farm as possible, but yeah, we've hit the flame horizon point with Sniper having 107 CS to 205 or 215 here for Bongo. It's looking pretty rough for the ADC matchup, but
look, if you play Ashe, your only job is to press R, okay?
All utilities.
As an Ashe player yourself, you should know this. Echo is gonna have a assassination of the ball lane of Feast of Famine.
Talking about one shot, fellas.
Looks like they're just gonna be in a famine at the moment.
It's poverty time. Yeah, there's no feast here.
And the red buff is gonna heal up. Itaconic up to full here. Unless they can find maybe a pick here, but he still has his ultimate, so it's even difficult to do. Looks like they got the flank here. He's going to try and look for it.
Itaconic does get really low, but the second ulti is used as Phoenix.
He saved his life.
Getting eaten by the Tom Kench, saving his life, but it might be the end for the Tom Kench as Rain looks to clean him up. Let's
Oh no.
And he is able to get the shutdown on the Echo. Diving in a bit too deep.
You kind of got a little lost there. lost the
Yeah,
positions of the enemy there.
yeah, that's a lot of power come from Black Mambas. So
That will stop their push. That pick, honestly, yeah, it's a little too much from this siege here.
A little greedy in there from Rain and Itaconic burning multiple, ultimates and summoners inside of their base. But
yeah, they were trying to kill the tank. Don't worry.
they're trying to kill the top laner, which I feel like if they're gonna burn all that, they should probably burn it on Zaya. At least burning her ultimate would make her just dead meat to this Echo. I believe this Echo can just kill her in an auto E plus a Q. It's just
As
death.
Rain is in a bit of a predicament, this Wukong is still pretty strong. He's been able to get a lot of burst onto the enemies, as he does have his ulti back up. Rain doesn't have ulti, but is able to get the third sword dash and get away safely.
Yeah. Absolute, trying to get him there. If you think if Phoenix had ulti and maybe like a second or two sooner, pre-nerf, he probably would have been able to pick up the kill there, getting another rotation of the EQ.
Okay, so we should have a bit more time just to talk about things. What do you think Face of Famine have to do to try and stop this Black Mamba snowball?
I'm sorry.
As they are in the one-shot range at all times.
They have to catch Itacon.
Yeah.
If they don't, he just kills everything.
Honestly, I'm looking at Rain. If you just bait Rain, he takes every E4. You'll catch him. You will catch him without fail. Just dangle the carrot, and he will pick it.
I think this is the perfect thing they could do right now. Prep for Dragon, and do what you've been consistently doing, which is throw that like Ishan stun out. Like that. Try to catch him out. Get a pick.
Into small corridor, but it doesn't matter as Wukong is blowing the ulti onto two people. Yone is not
Yone's TPing in. Huge Swain value right there.
Oh
no! He has GA! Oh, he just got one shot by SGA. Oh.
Lizzo is still looking for something onto Tomato, but he might be
going
too far.
a little
He doesn't
too
have
deep.
Any of his team, but Dragon is started. It looks like their Feast of Famine are just trying to burst this down as fast as possible. Brain does get vision of it as the control ward. Ishan is back with full health after teleporting, and it's gonna be smite fight as Zaya gets it.
Wukong gets instantly deleted.
As it looks like they're still trying to
Ishan is
continue
caught
as
again.
someone's going to the Hex Gate right now as Itaconic is on the back line, going to Zaya. They're trying to get away, but just way too much damage. This fight has lasted way too long, and they're just gonna win the extended fight after getting all their cooldowns back.
He's trying to clear the wave mid. He might actually do it. Hold on.
Yeah, Ishan trying to pull a hero player right now.
Just keep Timbers there. Keep it right. Don't make Timbers reset. Don't go too far. Oh no.
No!
They don't have too many minions to push this. It should be fine as Rain is gonna hunt for Ishan. He gets stunned up. The
again.
The field goes off and
arrow
and the Ash from Sniper.
Let's go! Gold value for...
Yeah, you'll see how much fun they're able to push there. Continue, but Wukong is up.
I don't think it's that angle.
No?
Yeah, they're just gonna take the enemies' Hex Gates back into their jungles and try to take whatever they can. But now pings onto the Baron are being started.
It's like they could easily just rotate to the Baron here and just try and, bust it down, or they could just, lie in wait, see if they can't pick somebody off. They do still have loads of damage. Looks like they are sitting here. The Ash Hawkshot, spotting out Phoenix. Oh, he might be walking into an ambush.
All the gold. Seraphine ulti lands on both the Swain and Wukong. Both of them are just gonna get insta-pop. The Swain, once again, is not able to get the ulti off, but
no exhaust, no
able
chance.
to trade onto the Itaconic, but it just ends in the triple kill for Solo Rain.
That should be all she wrote.
As they still need a wave to push this.
Looks like they're bringing the wave in, but
I don't think this looks like an end angle either.
Yeah, I don't think this is an end angle. They don't have too much to work with. The waves were set up, and they were sitting on a lot of the gold, so... Well, we'll see as
They won
Rain
it.
is looking to also go on to
Oh!
and he gets saved by the Tom Kench. That shield is massive.
Now if Rain chunks
But-
they have to dip. It's
Yeah.
non-negotiable there.
I mean, Rain,
Oh,
Rain is sitting on an illegal amount of gold right now. 3,200 gold he's sitting on right now, which is essentially his bloodthirster, I believe.
Yeah, that's the amount of gold you ping in ARAM after you haven't died in eternity. That's like a really fun.
Oh man.
Wow. Absolute
I
crazy.
don't really think there's much Feast or Famine can do, to be honest. They just lost like two straight team fights. The only way they can do it is like any old Swain pull, and then they one shot with Zaya, but it has to happen. Like everyone has to be on the same page.
They need the miracle fight.
Yeah,
They really
they
do.
need that like every stars align kind of thing, and even then, Solar Rain is just allowed to like run around the team. So it's you have to look for that, like, hey, we got everything to work out for us, kind of thing.
Oh, Rain might be
Hopefully
caught
they
here.
do.
yeah, Rain
Oh.
is sort of in the
He's
bad
way
spot.
stronger
Trying to
now. He-
1v1 the Wukong, but he might just get the kill as he gets saved by the Devourer from Tom Kench. And it looks like they're just gonna be trying to use it. The Tibbers does miss onto Rain, and Rain
No,
is
he
able to
shot!
free this. As oh my god, he gets the kill on Annie. He's gonna get bursted down
Oh.
with the Wukong, but that doesn't matter because Black Mambas do secure the Baron with how much time Phoenix is forced to be on to Rain at all times during this game as the Crystal
Black
Arrow
Mamba
lands on
will-
Desire.
Won't lead to much.
It's fine. It'll be fine.
What 3,200 gold does to a mofo, right? You know, like
Now if it had done that play 5 minutes ago and baited him that far, towards
Yeah.
George, but-
I don't think Sniper had the
Yeah.
damage then. The Bork, you know, helps him at least shred the Baron quite heavily if that's the only reason he decided to. No, the Bork is relatively good this game. It's just I don't know if Sniper can really walk up to these front lines without getting deleted. The AoE damage is absolutely terrifying, and Bongo just kind of sniffs him and just touches him with anything and he dies. So
Which-
yeah, I would prefer the CDR build at Ash this game. But,
At this point, with the man immune, Triforce build be better.
we got the ARAM build up in here is what we
Yeah.
really needed. The ARAM build from Sniper. He has hit a couple clutch
As
arrows.
Wukong is gonna look to go onto Crab, but the Seraphine ulti is gonna be
Oh my
enough
God.
to take him back, and
Alright,
Sniper is
Sniper
gonna
is-
secure the Wukong with the kill.
You know what? I
But
take it back.
Clive is coming in from Solar Rain as Tom Kench is now gonna get shut down. They have used so much as
Ishan, run!
Sniper.
Oh!
As it
Sniper,
won't be
run!
enough. Sniper almost dies to Tibber, but it won't be enough as Rain just
Bongo!
dies too far.
Oh!
Bongo almost clutches it, but Idaconic is able to assassinate the Zaya and the Swain at the end of the fight there. Not
That will
able
be
to
the
deal with so many threats coming out at once as Idaconic is the last man standing on the
Oh.
map as he ends it by himself.
That is very poetic, honestly. Very poetic. Last man standing, Mr. Iconic. It's poetic at this point.
Yeah.
Yep.
Black Mamas take game one and a really deciding factor, they just out macroed Feast or Famine. What do you think? Do you think it has to be a change in draft or decision making? We'll start with you, Frozen.
What happened? Say that again?
Do you think for game two, do you think Feast or Famine have to change something in their draft, or do you think they have to change something in their decision making when it comes to trying to come back from this loss?
I think it's okay if you let Echo go through again, but in my opinion, you have to switch out one of the instead of banning Jinx. No, that was actually Black Mama's who banned
Yeah,
it.
Black Mama's and Jinx.
Instead of, I completely forgot who the Feast or Famine banned, but whatever.
Feast or Famine banned like the Udyr, Heimerdinger, and Urgot.
I
the
think,
big
I think,
Do you
I
think you
think
replace
at this
Urgot
point,
then?
no, because it makes Crab more human. He's a one trick. He's a one trick. What can I say? What can I say? I'm a one trick too. You know, whatever. I will say, try to trade, and this is no disrespect, but I think it's in terms of power spikes. I'd rather Obongo have to deal with a Heimerdinger bot lane then have to deal with a Yone that has a knock-up on every third Q, has his E that goes back that does true damage, his R. I think you have to like prioritize looking for something else that like makes Ishan's life easier, because obviously it didn't work well trying to match him with like Annie. He fell behind 30 CS by 10 minutes, then he fell behind 60 CS, and it just kept snowballing from there on because he doesn't know how to keep up in the side lanes with the CS. And it's I think they have to prioritize making him play like Lissandra or something where he can actually press R on Edaconic and or something like that, and just make the team fights like they have to give him the sniper treatment.
Okay, so
You know?
instead of a point and click Annie R, you're looking for a more point and click Lysandra
The
R.
unmissable ones. Yes,
Okay, I
yes,
see.
yes.
Point and click.
Yes, yes. So they have to give him the sniper treatment where sniper's like perma Ash, he has to be like perma Malzahar. Make him not interact with the game. But hey, I hit my Ashar down the lane, and yay! I didn't int it this game, so we're okay. We're being chilling. So that's the kind of treatment they have to give him, and it's smart that they're banning Veigar because now he doesn't have to deal with they don't have to deal with, hey, he has a cage, he has a one-shot R, he's gonna infinitely scale. So that kind of things just throws a little wrench in their plan. But yeah, he has to be willing to play for the team instead of be willing to play for himself.
Well,
Go ahead, wait.
I was like, I really want to see, and I'll kind of give a different perspective here for Bongo. Imagine if Bongo was that far ahead, but instead of Zai, he was Caitlyn. Imagine how much more pressure he could have put down on the map just by playing Caitlyn, where he could walk earlier in the game with the power spike that's sooner. Zaya, yes, she can be defensive and she can play, these, backline where she can play very protective, but in these games where, it's on your shoulders to be the carry, why not play the Caitlyn? Get that lead in lane and then push it out on the map and get towers and plates. He was up 55, 60 CS within the first 8 minutes of the game. So why is he not? Why don't they just pivot, pick the Caitlyn, take the Lux, take Morgana, something that can he can always auto attack through. Just, get the pressure, get the threat in lane, and then just start moving around the map and just asserting his dominance everywhere because he can do it. We know Bongo can just 1v9 these games, but he has to be playing the right champion. I don't think that Zaya is the champion that's going to enable him to do that. I think Caitlyn is going to be the better pick in this scenario. So that's where my thought process on this game goes. Is I really want Feast or Famine to draft the Caitlyn, and they should have blue side this game, so they should be able to pick the Caitlyn this time instead of the Zaya. Which I guess Caitlyn went unpicked, but in my opinion, that's where they.
Yeah, I mean, now blue side, I definitely expect a Caitlyn ban. Especially from Black Mambas instead of banning Jinx. We probably will see them switch over the Jinx ban over to a Caitlyn ban. So
but we'll go ahead.
I don't. Yeah.
We'll talk a little bit more once we get back. We'll go ahead and throw it here to an intermission in between before the draft gets underway in the second game. We'll conclude some more of our thoughts while we get into that next draft as the draft is happening. So we'll go ahead and throw it to an intermission here. We'll be back with you guys for game 2. All right, and welcome back to Emerald League Game 2 here for the finals. After Feast or Famine kind of fallen there a little bit, I do want to get back to Frozen here. I know I kind of cut him off there a little bit going into intermission, so I kind of wanted you to conclude your thoughts here on the draft and what you think they should be changing here for Feast or Famine.
I mean, it's quite simple. I think you have to like attack the solar rain angle here, but at the same time, not in a Gapham scenario, but like what I said from the like earlier statements, you have to make him you have to pick something that's better into the team rather than keep leaving Yone open and just letting him scale, because he's going to get that strong. He's continuously going to get that strong, and I don't see a Yone ban come through, so I'm imagining that they're going to pick a Yone again. Not again, but like early in the first rotations. It's that much stronger, and the Echo Yone combo is just, you know, that much more oppressive than anything that I think the Black Mambas, the Feast or Famine can come up with. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they like adjust to.
And I agree with you too earlier, talking about dropping the Heimerdinger ban to ban the Yone, because the impact was unparalleled. We all saw it. You know, Feast or Famine's taking away the Sejuani this time, taking that away from Crab.
Look, I'm telling you, it's a
jungle
diff.
pick. Yeah, that is a jungle pick. Because I do not believe that's
Lizzo plays it.
Lizzo will first time Sejuani in the grand finals. Yeah, I don't think he will first time Sejuani in the grand final. So this is the Black Mama should look at this and be like, okay, well, we got jungle pick this early. Oh
Yeah.
boy.
Oh, Black
Oh,
Mambas
boy.
are looking to respond with the Zach Jinx of their own.
Boy.
Caitlyn Lux,
Yeah.
please pick it, Bongo.
We instead of Moonlight now, we do have Neo Spec for game 2 over on the Feast of Famine.
So they do get Neos back. Well, that's good for the morale. At least they'll be able to get their, you know, the duo that they've been playing most of the time down there. But
yeah.
nope,
As
still.
they're having Xayah, I really would prefer to see Bongo on more of a long range hyper carry than trying to protect himself.
He needs to be the carry of this team, and I just don't think that Xayah is the pick. She's a great disengage and great follow-up to you know, CC and whatnot, but I just don't think that this is the right way that Feast or Famine should be approaching the draft strategy. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it works way better in this game, but I feel like they should be playing up and in a sniper in Tomato's face, just kind of just putting it down their throats, essentially, just trying to get plates, trying to push the tempo. But no, we're gonna get more. The Seraphine worked out great for Tomato last game, so yeah. I'm not surprised that they switched that again. But Jinx gives a little bit more range to sniper and a little bit more carry potential later in the game, but a lot less utility.
Yeah, but with a different jungler now, we won't have that hard snowballing jungler from Adaconic this time around. But it's still Zach. He we do still have a really high impact jungler, especially in the early game. As Zach camping your lane, that's an even worse time for you.
Yeah, and I would be surprised if, they don't ban Rain here. I guess they are gonna leave at least one of his carries up.
I'm
Yeah.
begging right now for a Yone and for a Pantheon ban.
It looks like we're
I
only
don't-
gonna get one.
Yeah.
I don't.
Really?
Yeah, so they're just gonna pick Yone, aren't they? Isn't that just bread and
No.
butter right there? There's no reason to pick anything else other than unless Rain prefers to go on another
We does
hyper
have
carry mid.
here, so they could just pick top lane and then take the
That
counter.
that's definitely interesting that they would do
That's
this.
a,
They're
what do you-
definitely
that's a Rain pick.
yeah,
that's a
that
Rain
is.
pick
I
right
don't.
there.
That for sure is because even I know Crab. I think Crab might go Pantheon this game, if I'm being honest with you, or Kled, one or the other.
Ooh,
It's gonna be really. It's gonna be really interesting because his champo looks very very scuffed now. Like I know that he's been learning Yone, he's been learning Kled and Pantheon, but I'm very interested in seeing what he's gonna do if especially after his 3 main champions are just banned out and like picked. Um, I'm I really want to see. So they give counter pick to mid, and I would love to see something like a Rise. If I'm being honest, no, like a Victor. But I
Cassiopeia
know
being
that
picked
yeah,
for
That's
Ishan.
really good into
That's
Rain's.
really nice into Akali at least.
Yeah.
it's such a skills matchup because if you W way too early and she's in Shroud, it's really hard to like actually pin down this Akali. I hate this matchup on purpose. I would never want to willingly play this as a Cassio because it's actually really hard once she gets her R. There's so many dashes. Yeah.
As an Alawi being picked over for Black Mambas. That's gonna be a crab pick. The crustacean is speaking to him right now.
Station is speaking to him now.
Well, now we do have the final layout for the draft, and then, yeah, we don't really have to worry about any type of swaps. And we know pretty much where all these champions are going to be heading to. So, what do you think, Frozen? Do you think the adjustments were made in this draft? Or, where are you standing on the draft for Mamba and Feast or Famine?
Oof. So I think this Mundo has to be like a big deal here. I think Mundo cannot fall behind. I think Mundo has to be that front line where they just waste everything on him and he has to lead the charge basically into like every single objective because it's realistically like, and I hate to put it this way, but realistically you fell behind on a Ashe Seraphine lane against Saya 50 CS in the first 8 minutes, and what else can we really expect? So, the only tank shred that they really have is like this Jinx pick and this Alawi pick if Mundo just sits still and runs into the Alawi, but I don't see how Akali should kill Mundo if Mundo is relatively even or ahead of Alawi. If he's like 3 kills down, then you know how this game is gonna go. But I really do like the adjustments that Feast or Famine made. I think it's actually they have more damn, I don't even know how to say that word. More fluent, more easier time of like locking people down, especially with like the
More
Sejuani
consistent?
R. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know
'cause-
what? There you go. More consistent CC chain, more consistent damage that comes out. I really like this Swain pick again, and I just like this Feast or Famine's team, and I'm gonna double down. I'm gonna go 10K on them. I'm gonna put 10K on them. I'm a betting man today.
The gamble mentality. See it.
Yep.
Well, what are you about? What do you think, Kamuchi? Where are you standing here now on the draft?
Well, you see, I see Black Mambas having a lot better team fight control this time around, especially if a lot of Feast or Famine is like this mid low range team fighting aspect, but versus an Alawi, it's really hard to even like walk up to any of Black Mama's backline, if anything. And even with that, they still have to worry about like this assassinating Akali and the Zac. Like they're just diving in, so it's really hard for them to run away, in my opinion. I think I'd give it over to the Black Mambas.
Really? All right.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think about this, Harvey? What's your opinion on this
I
draft?
think the opposite. I think who was Akali assassinate in this game? I'm looking hard. I'm looking real hard. I'm seeing a little bit of issues if Raid is supposed to do the lion's share of damage.
I just I just got some like insider info.
Okay.
So Phoenix likes to do poor man builds. He likes to do Evan Shroud on every single jungle tank like Maokai, Sejuani, all like these jungle tank Zac. I got word he is building Radiant Virtue this game.
Okay.
It's winnable.
Saved.
It's
winnable.
winnable. It's winnable.
All right, Feaster fan, I'm tripling down.
Tripling down.
All in.
But realistically, it falls a little bit more on Sniper to do damage in these fights. Like I said,
A little bit.
Akali's gonna have a lot of trouble killing
A
people.
little bit, bruh.
It's a lot.
I kind of think that
on Sniper.
Yeah, I think this
Allow
Black
us-
Mamba's kind of
Yeah, Allow is typically not a champion that groups a lot. She's usually most effective when she's on the side lane, turning like 3v1s and 2v1s. Maybe he'll play it more grouped, but it's a lot of pressure on Sniper to do damage. Ray might find one in a fight, but it's tough. It's between meatballs and Zaya.
Yeah, Itaconic is gonna have to be bought. Probably the entire game. His top lane, he doesn't really need to be there because Alawi's just a lane bully. Mid lane he can gank relatively easily,
Look,
but
if Itaconic is gonna go bot, then we can expect Rain to follow. Okay.
that's fair. But like they do that for drag control, but also because the Swain was catching Sniper all day in the last game. That's why he's so far behind in CS. So now you have another immobile carry, maybe a little bit more range once you hit level 6. Once you get 3 points into her Q, I think she has right around 600 range with Rocket, but you're gonna have to once again play through bot side, and now you're on Jinx. You've got multiple beefy boys that you have to DPS down. But I mean, later in that game, the Ashe was popping off, and that's fair. He ended up doing more damage than Bongo last game on the Ashe, about 2,000 more damage on the Ashe, but he's going to have to be more relevant earlier in the game because he's that significant portion of damage. And going along with what Harvey was talking about, who's Rain going to assassinate if he's not ahead? Because he's not going to kill any of these frontliners, especially with Radiant Virtue. He's just going to get locked up and deleted before he can do anything with the miasma going down. So I am concerned for Mamba's draft here. They definitely drafted a much more difficult comp to play. So I think Feast or Famine have the edge here. So I think we're all in agreement here. I think Feast or Famine have the better draft overall. Still not a fan of the Zaya, but I will concede the draft.
It'll work here.
So.
I would like to see also Crab Rush Cleaver in group. Rush Cleaver for your Jinx in group, and by that, your best chance of winning.
Right, but we'll go ahead and throw it onto intermission here, and we'll be back for game 2 between Feast or Famine and Black. And welcome back to Emerald League Game 2 here between Feast or Famine and Black Mambas. And we're getting into the game here. We had a lot to talk about between these drafts as they completely changed the drafts. So I know we've talked a lot about, the draft. And in intermission, we kind of pointed out that the draft that worked for Black Mambas first game completely threw that out the window and just put all of their chips on the sniper basket here because realistically, Akali's got to be doing some work here if she decides to be the one carrying this game. So, what do you guys think? Where do you think the early game is going to kind of lie here between these two?
I think so. It's I think either Ida has to play through top lane Crab and get him so far ahead that he's just one-shotting every tank, or literally live his life down bot lane and just hard carry through bot lane. Like he gets fed and basically he's unkillable, sitting on Xayah every single fight, sticking on them, and just making sure that what's his name, Sniper can just free hit and like sit still and just auto attack. But it's honestly pretty hard. It's a hard comp to navigate, especially when your only damage is Sniper on Jinx.
Yeah. I know we're pointing out a lot of this focus is going to be to the bot side, and we are getting both of these junglers are starting on the top side, going to be rotating down to this bot side. Oh, big trade happening mid. Rain's in trouble here.
Oh.
I do know that.
Disrespect the early Cassiopeia level 2.
I do know that cat. Oh, flash one for
coming.
Jinx.
That is so big. That is now 5 minutes of not playing the game.
Guess which jungler is coming down bot?
I don't know if that was a panic flash out of Sniper or if he thought that auto attack was an E, but
I don't know.
He saw his life flash before his
The
eyes.
Swain auto attack got the flash out and then E towards the Seraphine, but
Why doesn't that happen to me in my games where I auto? Oh my goodness.
yeah. Alrighty, Phoenix down here lurking, looking for the kill. Maybe gonna get a little bit of an invade here to check where Ida is. And he is gonna spot out Idaconic, who doesn't have his buff. His bot lane is gonna move, but I don't know about that. Now you're giving the inside track. Okay, they're coming back. They're trying to decide what they want to do here. Phoenix is still lurking in the jungle. The shove goes to bot lane here. So, yeah, Sniper's already starting to lose out on the farm battle. He's going to continue to lose farm here as well if the Zac can't kind of come down to relieve the pressure here by getting some gold. That flash, a little interesting there, but...
Yeah. Interestingly enough, Crab got a cheater recall out top lane and got himself a cheeky coal. Shoved it completely out.
Oh,
that's a hook. That's a hook.
Yeah, that's Sniper.
Yeah, he's dead. That's dead.
Kill goes over to Swain, which isn't the worst thing either because this whole team comp wants to go like Rain, Akali, and Zac and Alawi wants to go into this team. So it's gonna be really great the fact that you can have a strong Swain just soaking up all that damage. It's gonna be really interesting to see how they play these fights eventually.
Yeah, and Phoenix is still lurking in this jungle. At this point, he's just kind of wasting his own time. He needs to move back into his own jungle and start farming again. He's kind of not really getting anything done here. He knows all of the camps are gone because he's checked every place. He just needs to go back and farm. So he kind of rotates that direction. But, I mean, I don't know if you guys... We all know. Understatement of the year. 600 gold lead already for the Jinx. And double the CS from the Jinx. And it's not even 5 minutes.
That's disgusting. Like that's hard to like
that much
stomach
range
as a.
That's even scarier.
Yeah, getting clipped there by the W. Oh no, that is a level 3. Oh, he level 4.
Yeah, Phoenix has gotten to the enemy Raptors, trying to get some stuff from KFC, but it's not gonna look too great as Rain has a kill angle, has forced to flash. And no
he lives with his
flash coming
life.
from Rain. That does blow the Akali's ghost, but
Oh, is he gonna agree?
As
Oh, they got him
now, the jungle agreed. They've been
He's dead.
He should have 2 by now, right? Yeah.
No, he's dead.
Oh, that's a flash. Oh, he hits it.
Watch me trade.
Oh,
Oh,
execute.
Touch him.
Oh,
Wow, what a pop-off moment there. If there was a moment where he needed to not get touched by the Sejuani, that was it. And now he's going to lose some farm there too. From the enemy jungle, getting sniped out, you know, got the chicken camp, so
Did
not too
Sniper
much
get poked
loss
out
here.
again? Is he coming from base? What happened?
We may
This
have
happens another back.
missed a trade there, probably from a pull, but yeah, already under tower. This wave is going to reset right back into them. It's going to be really unfortunate for them to try and play from this perspective. What
Oh,
a
huge flash immediately, but he doesn't have any vision onto the Akali. Gets the petrifying gaze onto the Akali, but it won't be too long for the
This is a
world
dead.
as Rain
He's
has
dead.
no
Oh my god!
summoners.
Ishan!
Turns her around.
Ishan! Oh my god!
In a tier start, that was enough damage. Oh my god.
Dude, I'm telling you, you can't
Cassio don't mess
disrespect this
around.
Cassiopeia. The moment the poison lands, the twin fangs, twin bite, but whatever that ability is called, it's just so
The E?
spammable and does so much damage. Yeah.
Yeah,
called Twin Fang?
Twin Fangs. Yeah.
Okay.
It's the empowered E after you hit the poison on the Q is ridiculous early. If you get hit by 1 or 2 Qs and Cassio's taunting you down, yeah, you're blowing that like ghost. It's so strong early.
Yeah, and you know, contrary to last game, all the gold where they need it go into the right pockets, except this time for Feast or Famine, starting up the dragon here as well. Also, at this point in the game, Echo had multiple kills, so Itaconic having little to no pressure in this early game. Nothing that he's been able to get done except get Rain killed, so there's really not a ton going on here for him, and really the snowball is beginning kind of in multiple lanes across the board. The Swain pick is just doing dividends for this bot lane. The threat level that is just put down onto snipers.
Honestly, it's I would say into Black Mambas and specifically into Sniper where you can abuse the fact that, I mean, I would say, you know, next time maybe he doesn't flash for an auto. But it's such a good pick into abusing these bot lanes, especially where Sniper likes to step up for no reason sometimes. So it's really good because you always have that threat where he's just going to be hitting a single E that gets a kill.
And we're just seeing the gold lead kind of, or not the gold lead, but the CS lead is kind of ballooning between the mid and the bot lane, because Rain is down about 15 CS as well after that death.
Can we see the gold differential on 80 carry right now?
It is about 800. Just
About 800?
right
Okay.
800-900 gold.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. So, I mean, a load of gold. Essentially a pickaxe, you know, sitting in Bongo's inventory versus just the Noon Quiver for Sniper. It's still able to probably outplay a couple of these if they're getting the right fights down, but you know, those fights are coming few and far between further and further this game goes, and Phoenix is just asserting his dominance down here in the bot lane.
Yeah, it looks like the name of the game for both of these junglers is just trying to invade each other and get the vision as much as possible. It's basically a vertical jungle as far as I can tell.
The vertical jungling down tier, but right now this is in big time danger for the Mambas as the wave is pushing into the Xayah and the Swainbas. We're getting a huge fight top lane here.
Oh my goodness.
As both ultis get popped, Lizzo taking the worst of that trade, but is able to heal back up. She should be able to.
Yeah, this is jail. They need to be sounding the alarms right now. They need Itaconic to come down here and break this freeze immediately, or like Sniper's lead, or his deficit is gonna balloon unbelievably high.
Oh, man, I don't think at this point I think you see it down 40 CS, and I think you have to at this point sack it.
Yeah, but where's your carry then?
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know at this point. I have no clue.
It has to be a win con. Like, you cannot sack, no matter what you say, you can't sack it. It has to be a win con for your team, as you can already tell that even the wave state, the Jinx had pushed it a bit too far, and now it's frozen there.
Whole team's coming down now. They gotta break this freeze because this Jinx just can't play the game right now. As Rain failed the jump over the wall there.
Oh, the walk of shame back to mid lane.
Yeah, I don't think. Nope, they're getting the wave under tower, so they're able to at least break the freeze a little bit. But
A little bit breathing room for a bit.
I think the damage has already been done. I don't know if they're going to be able to do that. And even Rain here is frozen up here and having to walk up into the Cassiopeia.
Frozen forever?
Frozen forever.
Yeah.
See, I'm just too used to seeing the Cassiopeia from Frozen just dominating mid lane. And I'm not sure what.
Okay.
You know, I don't know. But Frozen, I mean, like you were talking about in draft, like this matchup, you really don't like it as Cassio, but you know, so far so good here for the Cassio. Like, what does he need to continue this? Oh, as we're getting a fight.
Kind does flash to try and get the stretching strikes. That doesn't matter too much as both botlanes have blown flash. Rain is down here, and Jinx gets the super mega good death rocket onto the swing, gets a reset, isn't able to convert that into another kill, but that is a breathing room. As I mentioned in draft, if either Connect is gonna go down there, he's gonna go down there with Rain to try and get the kills and try and snowball this game, but this might still be a bit too late as Phoenix is trying to get a trade kill, trying to get into either Connect.
I will say, as far as people you want to actually have the kills, I'm not too sad at the fact that Jinx got it, especially since early Kali will be able to one-shot your carry. Oh my goodness.
As Ishan is now getting converged on by Rain, gets hit by the petrifying gaze, but
just run away. Just run away.
Wait a minute.
Wait. Alright, I gotta take notes. This Ishan's better than me. I gotta take notes.
Look, it might just be that you're not fighting hard enough, okay?
I'm not fighting hard enough. That was ridiculous. So well played and clean from both Crab and from Ishan.
And we had two solo bolos there. One top lane, Lizzo getting dove over to the tower by Crab, and then Rain getting killed mid lane in the 1v1.
Oh, that flash is disgusting. Like it scares me the fact that he flashed like that.
As we get a dragon coming in for Feast of Famine, either kind of just trying to fight this, but his life might just be forsaken here, as they aren't able to.
Rain is coming. He's got ulti. They might look for this.
Neos and Ishan are still really low as Rain is now there trying to get a good kill onto his Bongo is trying to get away with his life. It's gonna be so much damage coming for the Jinx. Two kills coming in for the Jinx, one kill going for Seraphine, and Cassio is running for her life. But they do secure the dragon for themselves.
Action everywhere. Action is just happening everywhere, and you know what you were asking for earlier, Harvey, you have gotten it. First item, Black Cleaver completed 4 slap by Crab. Absolutely going to be shredding the armor. So much utility coming from that item, especially if he joins these team fights just across the board for the two frontliners.
But also Jinx pop off, yeah.
The Jinx pop off, but I feel like a little bit of an overextension there from Feast or Famine trying to get that dragon, knowing that everybody could respond to that. Iconic went a little bit too early, but beyond that, they were able to turn the fight back. You know.
Yeah, I think they take the dragon and the blobs from Zac, and they're able to just walk away. They didn't expect Rain to come off.
I think the fact that Sejuani re-engaged there was probably the fact that everyone was like, okay, well, our Sejuani's going in. We have to help save him. No. You cut your losses, pal. Get out. You don't let Obongo die there. You don't give that Jinx a double kill. Cut your losses. Let's move on. He inted it. Let's say for what it is.
Yeah, because now your win condition, the Jinx is even in gold as he.
Oh, Ichon gets hit by the Kali. Now he's getting converted by 3 members of Black Mamba, and he just gets murdered. No summoners to help save him, and the petrifying gaze was not able to find the correct angle.
What a great early game from Feast or Famine for it to just get wiped away in about 3 minutes worth of gameplay. As top tower drops as well, top lane's not going great, you know, and now the gold is pretty even between the AD carries as much as it was before, you know, close that gap quite a bit with a double kill for the Jinx. You know, just free gold going over the Jinx is not what you want to see.
Yeah, 1 kill, I was willing to be like, okay, you know what, I'll concede 1 kill over to the Swain, but now that she's on 3 kills, it's looking a bit harder.
Look, Sniper's trying to make a point, okay? Kills win games, not CF.
Yeah. Well, we learned that in the scrim the other day when I was running it down on Jinx. I got a couple kills and then won the game. So, you know, we know that Jinx can just, you know, throw in lane and then get a couple kills and win the game. So here we are watching it on stream here in Game 2 of Emerald League's final. We're watching Sniper kind of crawl back this lead too. Only about 100 gold behind Bongo here, which is utterly massive because now you don't have this massive, gap between the gold, and you actually have a much larger gap here in the top lane between Lizzo and Crab. Is this Alawi has by far the most CS in the game. He's absolutely just crushing it on these side lanes. Now bot lane putting down tons of pressure. So what do you?
Oh god.
I was just gonna say, Frozen. What do you think is the avenue here for Feast or Famine to kind of get a hold of this game again? Because right now they're just kind of tossing.
Slow it down. Kind of like what well Bongo has to do what he does with our team. He slow the tempo down. You guys will outscale. You guys will win eventually, but just slow it down, please. You don't want to get. You don't want to.
As Phoenix is able to just find a crab on his back, having a word there.
Oh man,
that was great acting. Acting like he was gonna run away, but in reality, just flashes back over to the glacial prison.
Call the police. Call the ambulance. Not for me.
He gets away with
basically.
murder.
But yeah, they have to be able to just slow it down. Tell his team to stop going for dumb plays. Tell his team to stop overextending, because at this point the gold lead isn't what it used to be. It used to be like 1.5K in their favor, and they were okay all around. But now it's 1.6K in the favor of, the Black Mambas. So now you have to. Hey, even though it's Sniper on Jinx, he's strong. He's down like however many kills, but we have to slow it down. We can't keep spoon feeding this Jinx the kills, which is their only real threat. Especially seeing that Akali's 1-3, and your Cassiopeia is actually like a champion this game. You have to be able to, slow it down. Be able to make the calls where, hey, let's do the right things.
Yeah, we are gonna get. I think this fight could completely flip the tempo of the game if they actually get a good fight here for Feast or Famine.
No jinx.
He gets
Huge. Three Seraphine ulti coming in, but re-engage coming in from the Sejuani. There's so much damage coming in from the Lally. The tentacles are slamming down to the Swain. The Swain gets shut down.
Lizzo lives!
Reset. And it's only a 4v3 currently. A lot of ultis were blown in such a small amount of time, and there's so many low health bars. I don't think Feast or Famine are able to clean anything up.
Swain just had to. Swain, I think, could have changed that fight if he focuses more the backline, because the backline did not pay attention at all to him. I think if he just runs onto them and forgets about his team, I think he wipes out Jinx in this fight. Like right here, fully commit. Just fully commit onto the Jinx. You're okay. Oh, because he runs back into the tentacles, right? Boom, there. Oh, I think he just keeps zoning the Jinx, and even if it costs you your life, it's so much worth.
And even then, missing the opportunity to just throw the claw towards the back line instead of throwing it towards the Alawi, who was in the front line. Like, why not just toss it over there, pull them in, and then now you just have free reign for Ishan and
free
Bongo,
flash, free heal. Yeah, right. Free flash, free heal. Your team is fighting basically like a 4v3 versus Zach, Rain, and Alawi. And at that point, well, Bongo still has R. He still has flash. He still has cleanse. Just let him do his thing. Let him cook. Let him cook.
Let him cook.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that was, in terms of what Feast or Famine wants to do, I think that's a good point and like a good direction that they want to like go towards. If they learn from that fight, basically saying, okay, well, we're okay. That was a decent team fight, even though we literally got hit by a 3-man Seraphine. We got hit by like a 4-man Zac Blob. We're okay, and it was still a 4v3 at that point. So,
I think oh, as the ulti went out there.
Look for something on Seraphine. That's fine.
Fernando's flash. That one.
No, but kind of like what we were talking about in draft is pointing out is very similar to what you're talking about here, where the fights are still insanely close for even the gold league kind of being, in the favor of Black Mambas. The fights are still insanely close because the draft is just so much better for Feast or Famine here. Just able to play out these fights even with less gold because their comp just works together better. So curious to see how this goes out continually, because Slapped is just bullying this bot lane. I don't think anybody can really match him at this point, so he's just putting loads of pressure down. Oh, looks like they got the tanks caught. Oh, they're getting him caught up in all the CC. They're gonna get. Oh. Looks like they're gonna catch Lizzo. Are they gonna kill him? Oh, they
Lizzo's caught.
No, Lizzo's dead.
Oh, this could be a complete
Rain
Baron
like
angle.
Find Phoenix here. If Phoenix dies here, then that's the jungler dead. No chance for a steal. Might just take him away.
Looks like they're still chasing for him, because I believe if they do kill him, they could just TP Crab. Crab getting the kill on Ishan!
Oh my god, the Cassiel that dies to Ishan. Phoenix dies to
Baron.
Iconic, and it's just a free Baron, three for nothing all the way across the map for Black Mambas.
This is absolutely unfortunate, but they do still have Bongo is still alive, and they do still have the... Bongo's got everything, and Neos has everything as well, so they could still slow down this Baron. I really think they need a TP. They need a TP Crab into this just to secure the Baron. Alright, he got the tower. This is going really slow. I think they are still going to be able to secure it, but a little risky there, because if Bongo and Neos just kind of go and just take the fight anyways, they might have been able to slow it down, if not stop it. So they're a little lucky there that Crab didn't TP, and I guess he didn't really have mana for it after taking the tower down, but that is massive in terms of this gold lead, just going straight over to the Black Mambas.
Oh man. And it's so sad because while this game looks on paper really winnable and favors of Feast or Famine, you do all the right things. You have a 40 CS lead on Ishan. The Kali is 1-4. Your gold is on Sniper, which isn't like the worst thing, but man, it's this.
Look, man, I'm just saying in draft. I said in draft that sniper pop off plus trying to get past the Alawi. There's a lot of short range, mid range champions on Feast of Famine.
Well, also this, we're about to watch this Mundo lose.
Yeah,
HP to an E. Looks like he didn't lose that much, but essentially everything that needed to happen for Black Mambas to kind of control this game is happening all at once, right? The top lane is super strong. Your AD carry is back in the game. Zac is really difficult to kill. Oh, they may have
they're looking for Rain. They saw that the Baron minions are powered.
Bongo's in a really bad spot here.
Bongo is sort of caught near the enemy team. They're kind of going with the back players is hiding out the back line of Black Mambas, but it's too late as he's kind of able to assassinate the AD carry of Feast of Famine, and
Bongo's dead.
It's pure cleanup as Ishan is not able to get past the front line of Feast of Famine. He's gonna get re-engaged here as the Jinx is just gonna get more and more resets, being able to run them down, and it's gonna be a clean ace as Lizzo now gets tagged up by the Jinx.
I think that's game.
Get everything.
I think that's game
as well the whole time.
Yeah.
45.
Crab wasn't even there. He didn't even try and teleport.
That's their strongest member, and it wasn't even that fight. Oh my lord.
That went from bad to worse as Itakana kind of showing us up there by just one tapping Bongo by himself as Bongo's beaten down.
Where did that damage come from?
And the disrespect dance. Man,
where did the damage come from?
What happened to this game? It was so close, so short ago, and now it's just completely out the window.
Ishan gets tagged up again. He's gonna get.
Sniper getting a little greedy there, walking straight up into that. I think they're still gonna be able to end this game. Yeah, with the TP back from Crab, this is gonna be the end of game 2 here. Man, that game just. That's still kind of fighting it out. It's just brawling out a little bit. As Tomato is trying to end the game.
The fight has lasted so long that Bongo has now respawned a second time. It's too late.
Man, and what a quick execution and end for the game here from Black Mambas. Just able to just out of nowhere just end the game after that catch and Baron. I don't think that Feast or Famine knew what they needed to do to stabilize the game. Essentially, what Frozen was talking about, how they needed to slow it down, take the fights that they needed. Unable to do any of that. Absolutely just tossing the game out the window. After that, after getting caught and killed and giving over the Baron, they just had no answer to the side lane. They had no answer to, to the damage that was coming out from the rest of the team. And Itaconic showing us up there, just jumping on top of Bongo and just killing him by himself. So able to just do everything there, funneling them all in. What a crazy game for that to end in that way, for the early game to be so close and then be up in the tempo and the gold and then just all out the. What do you guys think about the end of that one? I know it's an abrupt end.
I'm speechless.
I just think the hyper carries are the meta right now. You can't play as Zaya. She's more a team fight and won't really carry the fight till the end.
Yeah, no more Zaya Swain. I'm a mold.
Yeah, please.
Hyper carry enchanter. I'm gonna lose my mind.
Can we get the Caitlyn? So I'm just gonna point it out again. Can we please get the Caitlyn? I mean, it's not like the Zaya was, the reason that they lost the game, but Bongo's getting so much gold lead.
It's to push your advantage over the edge.
Yeah.
Exactly. You can.
Yeah, Feast or Famine have to try and abuse the Black Mamba's ball lane one way or another, because in this game, even in the situation where they're so far ahead, it just came down to Rain and Idakana coming down there and having zero support for their ball lane.
Yeah, I mean they're picking the Swain for team fight pressure and lane threat, but outside of that, man, the Swain is just kind of falling on deaf ears here. We're just not getting enough out of the Swain, and I think we're kind of in agreement here that we need to see Bongo on a hyper carry, not Zaya. Like, Zaya can be a hyper carry, but not in this scenario. She doesn't have anybody buffing her up and pushing her into these fights. Whereas if you get the Caitlyn in here, give her a Lulu, Karma, Lux, whatever you want to call it, just give him the priority to just move into lanes and just take the game by himself.
Jinx was up. They could have first picked Jinx. But,
they had the first pick Jinx. Caitlyn was on the table. I don't know. I don't think Bongo plays Twitch, but they have multiple hyper carries that they could flip to just to get him on these carries so he could play out these games with the position of carrying. I just don't agree with this draft strategy, and I think that was the best draft that they were going to get out of against Black Mambas, because everything went perfectly in their way early in the game, and they just threw it out the window.
Yeah, the difference maker that one was definitely Crab's top lane. That it pushed the damage, lack of damage, pushed against it quite well with the allowing pressure in team fights. That was crazy.
Do we have any closing thoughts here before we throw it back to intermission for game 3?
Oh man. Only thing I want to say is, if this draft could not win them this game, I don't see how they draft a better team comp. Or my bad. I don't see how Black Mambas throw a draft harder and Feast or Famine win another on paper team comp draft and make it easier for themselves. I don't know. That's
It's just disheartening.
This was the ego team comp that they had to beat for them to be like, okay, we're in this. Mm-hmm. It's 1-1. Game 3 is going to decide a couple of things. But now you're going on to game 3 down 0-2. And you lost to probably the worst team comp I've seen in a while. That's
the ego game 3 team comp when you're up 2-0.
It's an ego. Yeah, that was the ego draft that they could have easily capitalized on. But
now we see the first time GP pick from Eagle Crab. That's what we're gonna see now.
Well, on that note, we'll go ahead and throw it to intermission here, and then we'll get some more coverage back here for game number 3 of Feast or Famine versus Black Mambas. All right, and welcome back to Game 3 here of Black Mambas versus Feast or Famine. We, a little bit of a heartbreaker there for Feast or Famine. Hopefully, they're going to be able to pick this up. But we did get a lane swap here from Feast or Famine. They moved Lizzo from top to mid and Ishan from mid to top. So, do you guys think there are going to be any big changes? I guess we already got a little bit of changes in draft, but you guys think there are going to be any big game change inside of the
Yeah, well, we've heard of the legendary Ishan Syndra top, so the Black Mamas were like, okay, we're just gonna ban that off right away.
And Jinx getting banned away here from red side. I think they finally are like, yeah, Bongo might get, they might decide to take the hyper carry ADC, getting Zac, Sejuani, and getting the Syndra ban in here, or Syndra, not the Syndra, the Udyr ban. Apologies. A little bit of a flip here for Feast or Famine, finally changing up their draft strategy, taking these dive carries away from Iconic and Crab.
I will say that the only upside to having Lizzo probably play mid now is the fact that it frees up, which isn't that good because he did go 0-8 versus, Rain. It does free up the Veigar. Are they swapping like what?
Are they swapping bot lanes here?
What the heck? What?
The priority went to Seraphine. It's an interesting choice. And they're going to end up drafting the Swain.
Bro, was there some secret scrimmage results where Swain support was smurfing? I know the data here, man.
All right, there we go.
Why is the priority?
Crab going to this is his one trick, correct?
His one trick, yes. This is his one trick.
So
I get the Crab
is a human.
We finally got it.
We finally got Crab's one trick. Game 3 of finals, he's able to get his one trick. Finally scared enough of Idaconic's champ pool that they just banned everything else and left open the
Ishan thinks he's got something into it. I'm curious what that will end up being, but
as the Caitlyn goes over to Sniper this time around,
we finally see this champion.
we were trying to get Caitlyn into the games.
Yeah, Caitlyn.
Oh, except it's not a bot.
And then we see whose hands it is on. Oh.
Wait, what do you mean? Sniper is a sniper, okay?
Yeah. Okay.
So Bongo is going to go for the Varus. Is this going to be the Varus we saw?
This is interesting. I like this pick coming out from the Feast or Famine, going with the Varus instead of the Zaya. That's pretty good.
That's what he goes poke. Seraphine with Varus. Seraphine has very easy, non-committal ways to set up for Varus Q, so it's a pretty good lane in general. Plus it has push.
The thing is, knowing Obongo, doesn't have a set build. He's waiting to see what is coming out of the Black Mamba so he can actually fix himself on a sort of build. And even then, in game, he can still change it. It's interesting. I appreciate the way Obongo plays Varus because he's actually really good at it. Also, a little thing. Viego was played by Viego can be played mid by Rain too. By the way, so that is a flex right there. I know he's played.
I personally think it's still gonna go jungle just because.
I think so too.
How many ultis that he's able to just grab and utilize as soon as he's level 6? As Mambas are now banning the Akali against Lizzo this time around.
Banning the Akali and banning the Swain. Swain priority still here. So not sure what's going on.
Present, surprisingly.
Is this
Lux up as well? This Caitlyn's on the board. It's very curious.
I wonder if they're just gonna.
Heimerdinger is up actually. Heimerdinger's up for Epic for Tomato. If he does pick it.
What do you think they're gonna pick here? Mid or are they gonna flip?
They'll go with support. They'll go with their support here for sure.
So much better.
Yeah. Caitlyn.
There you go. And a mobile Bongo.
Oh. Hopefully we won't see them on the back end this time around. No level 1 flash being blown. And we'll actually see some lane dominance coming in from Black Mambas. As we'll see how Feast or Famine will round out.
They're definitely going to have a lot more threat in lane with these champions, and hopefully Sniper's going to be able to put a lot more pressure down in these in this early lane, maybe not taking such a massive deficit in
There
gold.
you are.
Malphite, Silas.
Silas?
Okay, so it's Malphite mid, Silas top. Honestly,
That was jungle. It's gotta be right.
Oh wait, did I just say Viego? Steals
Silas
ultis. Oops.
Viego, yeah.
Viego steals ultis.
I'm in Silas.
Pretty funny.
Awkward.
Silas is going to be eating good this game. He does have some pretty nice ultimates between Urgot and Leona, depending on what they decide to pick here.
My only problem is, well, I mean, besides having Seraphine and they don't
that's
have.
Nico's rain
and-
specialty.
Rain picking his troll mid lane.
I love Nico.
Look, this-
I love his. I
Rain's
love.
favorite champion in the entire world. Okay.
Oh my lord.
He has said before he'd smash. That's all I'm saying. That's that's a little insider thing too.
I
He
will
has
say,
said.
I don't have faith in this pick whatsoever.
Man, it's I think man, it's gonna be hard for Ishan in my opinion.
Malphite versus Urgot. Yeah, that might be a bit of a difficult matchup.
I think Ishan is definitely gonna struggle unless they put Ishan on Silas and then Malphite mid. But at the end of the day, it's I think Black Mamba should win this game, even though the team comp looks good for Feast or Famine. What's it called? Tomato on Leona is going to be interesting, especially paired up with Sniper. I do think that they have a better 2v2 in terms of all inning. But they have to go for the one shot on the Seraphine instead of the Varus, because I know Varus is gonna go he should be going cleanse. But besides that, I think it's pretty winnable for Black Mambas, definitely. If they won with last draft, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, any draft could be confident after what we witnessed in game 2. So
Yeah.
it's a struggle across the board here. I feel like they'd be able to get a little bit more pressure there, but we'll go ahead for now and we'll throw it to intermission here until the game comes into fruition. So we will go ahead and jump there, and then game 3 we'll come back for. Hopefully, maybe we'll get a little bit more out of this. Maybe we'll get a game 4. We'll see. But go ahead and throw it in there.
Yay!
And welcome back to game 3 of the Black Mambas versus Feast or Famine. So we got a lot of these. This nice draft game here. Hopefully it turns out we can get a game 4. I would love to see a little bit more of a series out of this game, but we'll find out here pretty quick. As looks like Itaconic a little bit agree here. Nope, they're not gonna get much for it. Maybe a quick ward on the early here, but. What do you guys think about this draft? And we talked a lot about the draft in draft, but kind of seeing how it's laid out now. Are there any kind of game plans you guys think that Feast or Famine can implement here to get a lead early again?
Look, I just want to see more actual team play in the early game because there wasn't ever a single point in time where Feast or Famine had actually brought members to a lane. It was just sort of just like Phoenix walking in and capitalizing on the counter gank, and that's pretty much it. I want them to be more proactive.
Yeah, we really never saw them able to kind of capitalize on a lot of that. I think they had a great game plan going into that, and they really, were able to hold that lead for a while. I think the only thing that they were struggling with was Crab in top lane, but now they're like in the later part of that game, they kind of toss it out the window, but now they have a little bit more stable of a team that they can play through with the Caitlyn bot lane and a mid lane that, should be a good matchup into Nico, or at least an okay matchup into Nico. Top lane's a little rough, and already starting to look a little rough here as, we haven't been able to see Crab on his one trick in a while, so curious to see how well Crab plays in this game, considering he did get his one trick, but what do you think, Harvey? What do you think about going into this game? Do you think the win condition is here for Feaster?
It's the same win condition it's been. I have nothing new to add. It's still looking through bot lane. He did opt for the poke build. He was going with comment that signifies a poke build, which is pretty good into a Caitlyn lane. You can contest her a little bit more than attack speed. And if Layla goes in on, you get cleanse, so you're pretty safe here. Keep pulling him from range, so it's gonna be a pushing lane.
Oh, Sniper took so much damage.
Ooh. Sniper already kind of feeling some of this poke here on these two range champions. I know Bongo going in the poke build is a little bit more for the laning consistency, but they get behind this game. Yeah, he can't fall behind or it's just a loss. There is no damage that is going to be stacking from this Varus. He's not going to go AP here, so obviously
a big lane kingdom, and they're already supplying. So
Neil's really landing these snares onto the enemy right now.
This is really unfortunate here, just kind of eating everything that is being thrown at them. Sniper eating another one. Another
it's off screen, but we see it land.
We saw it land.
Sniper is below 100 HP, but Rain is actually down here at level 4. They don't really expect this thing coming as they get Dugan Neos. He's forced to blow the flash early, and he'll just burn down to Tomatoes Ignite, but there's nothing for Bongo to actually steal to get away as he flashes too late the Leona Zenith Blade.
Yeah,
that is so well played.
Able to follow.
Bongo held his cleanse as Leona got into his fade. That was very curious. Well, he probably could have gotten out with the spacing. He had his cleanse immediately when he got on the Q on him.
Yeah,
he
but
didn't have it.
Really
heal coming out. Wow, the heal coming out from Kaylin right there really put a wrench in what Obongo wanted to do. Yep, he almost had her with the comment. Wow, yeah. Saved him so hard. Really impressive there from the Sniper to stay alive, especially with that Varus arrow coming out of nowhere.
Yeah, he got a little greedy there, walking back up, looking for the auto attack, trying to get the kill, but worked out in his team's favor as he baited Bongo into greeting for that kill because Bongo knows I gotta get a lead in this lane. I gotta smash this and get ahead. Yeah. Once again, Bongo's not on a hyper carry, so he's gotta get that damage down. He's got to get that gold lead starting early. But right now, if you're looking at the items, Kalen's looking good so far with that, with the pickaxe. Able to get some nice poke down. Able to get it. Oh.
As Ishan gets hit by Urga Q, is able to force the flash early, but the flash follow is just going to kill him.
Once again, yeah, Crab getting a cheater recall early. Getting that call for the extra.
I would like to note. I would like to note Rain's current build. He currently has a Doran's Blade, recurve bow, and he has deep footwork.
Oh, he's going AD.
He's going to attack with Nico currently.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna
Yeah.
be going the on-hit Nico most likely here for his team, which actually
Do you think it'd be more AD oriented, or will he go the Nashers?
They have no AP damage. Then
it will probably be the on-hit AP Nico, I would assume, because of what Harvey said. There is no AP on this, but getting abused here.
As Tomato is able to flash Zenith Blade and gets Neos Flare, this ball lane is just gonna look doomed.
back once again.
There goes Feast of Famine's only win con, as we were mentioning in draft, but
Already
the wave is such a bad
I'll
spot.
probably. Oh man, this is close to being just called over. If I'm being honest with you,
Pretty
like
rough.
It is not starting well for our Feast or Famine. It's not starting well for our hopes here for a game 4 or even a game 5. So
UK. Oh, it's 6 at once.
yeah, and Dragon getting started up here too, because they just have no threat. Like Phoenix can't really do anything here because his bot lane's so far behind and his mid lane's pushed in. So
Yeah, they don't have any gold buttons until like level 6 at least.
yeah, I mean
The entire early game is just
it's just a little scuffed here, as they are just gonna have to retreat here and unfortunately not. Go ahead, President.
I was just gonna say a little scuffed is an understatement. I'll be honest with you.
Well, you gotta give them some hope. There is still a hope that the Mambas decide to just toss the game out the window. Not much, but
it does look like to be some AP coming out from Nico, so they're saved a little bit from the Malphite turbo armor stack. So
okay, Nash's tooth. Understood.
yeah, Nash at least.
most likely gonna get. Yeah, we're probably gonna get a. I totally forgot the name of the word. The attack speed on AP. Yeah. First out of him, and then he's probably gonna flip into a little bit more AP oriented build, or I guess maybe he could just flip into Kraken because of how much of the lead they already have in this game. But you never really know.
Nash 2 is really good in a Silas. You're constantly just taking him.
All right, so we have level 6 on Malphite. We have the Silas who has level 6 who can steal the Leona ulti. Varus and Seraphine are almost level 6. Just bring everyone bot lane. Have a party. Go wild.
Yeah.
Do something.
Get Bongo's
As Bongo is now gonna get converged on, you can see people flanking behind them. They're all trying to go onto Sniper, but the rest of the team coming in.
Oh, he took so much damage.
Team has to live.
It's a party. Oh no.
It's a party. Look, I told you, Feast of Famine, they didn't bring enough numbers.
Yep.
Not enough numbers.
That's a good man once said, more shit counters less shit. So bringing down the whole team, just taking them out. They basically got absolutely nothing for that aside from one kill on a Sniper, burning everything for him, and now they're going to lose more than they gained. All this gold is just going to go right over to Sniper, or not Sniper, onto Rain. And even Crab didn't really lose much here because he went and pushed out the mid wave. He's just going to walk back to top and collect that wave as well. So not really losing anything on the map here. Is it just picking up all the gold, all the kills, almost a 3,000 gold lead. Nope, that is a 3,000 gold lead.
It is.
Play goes down. 3,000 gold lead at 9 minutes. An absolute clinic here being shown from Black Mambas, trying to end it here early in a 3-0. Is it really? Do they really have an avenue back into this game?
I don't see one. Man.
Look, they already lost a perfect game. Sniper had died, so there's still a chance, okay?
Oh, there's still a chance. Sniper went down. I think that
he's still
Tank it down.
Oh boy. I mean,
no UAV inbound this time around.
No UAV inbound. So there's not a lot of hope here on the side here for Feast or Famine. It's looking like a pretty clean game here. As Ishan eats that Q, he have ult? He can't escape, but Crab is going to get a lot of free damage into him. Yeah, so much free damage into that. Oh, as they're looking for another play bot.
Not again.
Oh no.
Trap was not placed super correctly.
Actually, Sniper might go down here. Oh.
Flash.
Almost got caught on the back end with the chain of corruption from Varus. As he's looking for the steal. Oh, only on tomato. No vision.
Yeah, they did end up ganking Crab top though. They're getting something on the map. It could be
Sure,
worse.
but Lizzo's not
Lizzo.
getting engaged on the ace in the hole. Sits him down.
Lizzo.
You have flash on
Iconic
it.
down flash.
Well played by Iconic.
Well played. Wait, this Malphite does have flash, but he can get run down relatively easy here.
Zero got ult. There it
Yep,
is.
there's
the
ulti.
ulti coming from the
Sniper
Argon.
still has flash, and
And he's gone.
God.
Into the grinder you go.
Yep,
Into the
really greedy
grinder.
there. Really greedy there from Ishan, trying to stay there for tower plays. I know he's trying to get some more gold back off that play, but you got the kill. Just spend your money. You can't be tossing this gold back to Crab after you just took it away from him. Unfortunate there,
Oh,
Oh,
Bongo in the bush.
Oh, Bongo in the
Assassin.
push. Ooh.
Bongo. Assassin's
Assassination
Creed.
Bongo.
4-man. Here it comes.
The Tomatoes is gonna go immediately onto Bongo. Bongo is the first to use the cleanse, but Iconic is right behind. Just gonna die straight up as Neos is now not looking in great spot. Trying to trade
And-
something onto Tomato, but
Trying to give the
Yeah.
kill gold
Assist,
over to
yeah.
Rain.
Literally.
Giving the kill gold over
Oh
to Rain.
my, they can't get any play to stick. There's always an opposite bounce back. Oh my word.
Everybody is playing to just put this lane. It's just the party in bot lane has just started. What we expected every single game to essentially be like is what game 3 is here now.
An average solo queue game is happening here.
Solo queue game.
first dragon is going over to Black
The
Mambas.
Jamboree
Or
comes
second
by.
dragon.
Second dragon coming over. I mean, it's 3-11 in kills. The plate score is ridiculously in the favor of Black Mambas. It's not a lot going well here for our friends over at Feast or Famine. So, 100% sure what they're able to be able to accomplish here.
Their comeback tools are very limited as well. It's hard. The lack of damage.
The lack of damage is very significant in this game.
Especially with Poke Varus, you're gonna get a Rod Silas. It's not gonna get much higher.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are now bringing down the Maokai to lane gank here. They do, and the Silas coming top lane to lane gank as well. Silas does steal the Urgot, and he might just die here. Yeah, it's gonna be a trade.
Boom.
Goodbye.
We're gonna get a nice return kill there for them.
Something on the map.
They caught something, which is honestly
It didn't get play. It didn't get a leave a bot gank on the side. You take those.
we take what we could get in terms of the gold that they can get into their pockets and lowering this gold lead. Ooh,
The
they are gonna
Maokai
get
ulti
rank.
trying to get onto Rain here.
Oh
Immediately has to
no!
do the pop blossom, and he's gonna try to right now. He pops the ghost. Either kind of gets
Oh, they're gonna turn it.
They're just gonna turn it.
Oh,
Lizzo Lizzo got deleted. Phoenix is next on the chopping block. Absolutely deleted as well.
Oh no! He had to
It
wait like
just-
half a second more for the pop balls to finish, then knock him
Oh.
back. He rocked
But
him, knocked
Sniper
him
is now
right into
alone.
Lizzo.
Oh, but Sniper is gonna get killed here. Just a consolation prize for Bongo, getting a little bit of gold back in the pocket. But I mean, you're just losing everywhere on the map essentially. Even bot lane, even though Sniper's down 3 kills, you've been giving over multiple kills. 7 deaths in the bot lane for Feast or Famine. Just so much of a party down there. All of the gold is going into the right carries. Iconic is 6-0. He's stronger than he was even on the Echo game early in this one. So
Yeah, all the gold is on the right place, and it's just looking worse and worse as the game goes by, to be honest.
Look, technically, all the gold on Feast or Famine is in the right place. Also, Bongo has 3 kills currently, at least. We got that going.
Listen,
okay. There's some copium.
Yeah,
Copium.
Mambas just forget how to engage. I think the game's good for them. Like, take good for them.
Yeah, I'll agree with that one. Oh boy,
Oh,
this is
We're just gonna be constantly seeing fighting in these lanes currently. I don't think we're gonna see too much team play as if this keeps
Lever's
going on.
finish. That's a lot of damage.
oh,
Oh,
Crab.
wait a minute.
Oh, Crab wanted to get the last bit of
Maokai's
damage,
here.
but now Maokai is here. Ishan flashes.
He's gonna turn it.
Oh no!
Oh, no help. No help with the Maokai at all.
Yeah.
I swear.
Oh no!
But now Jungler's gonna have a 1v1. There's no way the Malphite is gonna be able to help, so it's going to have to be a cut down tree.
There's a tree that is gone.
Very much.
A little kitty tree cut down to the base. And this mid tower is also going to drop, which is bad to worse.
Oh,
As
Lizzo gets
got caught.
tagged up.
Lizzo, no! Run! He's
Lizzo's
got the
gonna burn
AirPods in!
Ignite. She's
Oh!
Dice of the Ignite.
Oh, there goes the Pop Blossom.
Rain just
Okay.
burning ulti.
Wave clear.
He's just ulting for wave clear at this point.
He can afford it. I'll let him do it.
Yeah, they can allow him to do something like that where he's just able to pretty much do whatever he wants at this point. Don't really think there's anything he can do. I'm pretty sure this Malphite probably can't do anything about Idiconic either, just because of how much damage he has.
Now Malphite's it's a very spooky long lane for Malphite now.
Well,
imagine that got.
It's now a 6,000 gold lead as Bongo has met the top laner. Crab is here.
No. They have a 3-man gang going to top lane as Bongo's gonna get engaged on the bot lane, but Rain gets shut down by Ishan. He's gonna at least trade it.
Goodness, Malphite crucially coming up like 2 seconds into that play. Almost was to get it.
Yeah, but now we have a 3-man party in the bot lane as they know where Crab is.
I think Crab is.
This looks good. Go in.
He's pretty strong at this point.
Yeah, Phoenix is sort of just biding his time here, but Crab is just gonna be trapped in the alcove as he just gets executed. A flash chain of corruptions going on to Sniper, finishing him off.
As Phoenix being the guy stealing the kill away from his AD carry that made the play.
Yeah. It actually ends in the 3-for-1 for Feast of Famine, believe it or not.
They actually might be able to get the drag here too. They've just got way more members here. Maybe if they're able to.
They don't have any ultis for Idiconic currently, as Idiconic is just gonna assassinate Bongo. He's just gonna try and 1v4 this currently.
He's gonna go back in.
No one can kill Idiconic now.
Yeah, Idiconic is way too strong. Yeah, this.
Yeah,
okay. He dealt the one that did damage to him.
Is it a pentakill?
It's a setup for Penta currently.
It's a Penta angle?
Malphite's kind of ulti.
Malphite's a bit beefy. They have to kill Phoenix off first for it to keep track.
Here we go.
All
right, go next. It's a toss.
Yep.
The toss
Honestly,
angle.
It's a surrender.
Yeah.
Idiconic is now 11-0.
Any chance they had of getting back in this game is pretty much gone. There's pretty much nothing left to go into this one other than just kind of walking it down once the Baron spawns, which they probably could try and end it by probably 20-ish minutes if they really want to, just recall on the money they got. Take the Herald, Baron at 20 minutes. I mean, I'm not seeing any avenues for them to get back in this game. Like Harvey pointed out a couple different times, they don't have any damage. And Rain is just eating this Malphite at this point.
Bongo's dead again. Caught up by Idiconic. No,
everybody's dying. The snipe from freaking Idiconic on that. No absolute monster. Are they going to be able to keep him alive? He still has.
This was an awkward spot.
Oh my God.
An absolute slaughter here.
Wait a minute.
Yep. And he's dead. So now Silas is back up. Idiconic. 12-0-6. Unbelievable game.
All right, so let me just message Rain real fast. Throw for content.
Throw for
There's still time.
There's still time. It's still on game, I swear.
Yeah.
We have one more game in us, guys. We have one more game. Please.
We can. Please. One more. Please. I don't think any games were sweeps up until this point. So we're just starting.
Oh, shoot.
I don't think so.
Yep, I didn't get swept. Let's go.
Pretty close.
This is the first sweep. If it comes down to it, this would be the first sweep.
As Rain is gonna 1v2 down here.
Bongo still does a lot of damage in the one shot capability that he does still have, but
you can take one person off the map, and that's
okay. Well, production is telling me that technically the Waffles did wipe the Shorks, but they didn't play, so I'm not going to count that. So,
look, it's like Shorks didn't put up a fight for some reason. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Not 100% sure what really happened on that.
We'll flip some replays from that series real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, friends, how are the games? You're here so early, like. Yeah. It seems like you were casting us the entire time during it.
Who's their mid laner again? Oh, Molly? It was easy.
Easy. Rip Molly taking a swing out of nowhere.
He's not even here.
Yep. Screw all of you. Yeah, I don't know. I still think the Sharks probably lose that game, to be honest here.
Yeah, I
Especially
mean,
my I gotta put faith in my boy here. Obviously, Frozen. I've doubted
yeah.
Frozen before in the past, and
You know
every
what?
time I
I'm
get burned.
purposely gonna elo sit now just to come back next split. Purposely. Yep.
Pretty sure that's
Just
against
to
the
come.
rules, but you know we'll delete the
Delete the
VOD. Delete the
Burn the
VOD.
Oh man.
I never said that. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, who said that?
Say what?
Yeah, let's just delete the bot. Okay. Well, 12,000 gold lead here for this game. I mean, there's not really much to say here. They're just gonna lock it down.
This is just the formality at this point.
It's just an absolute slaughter, just across the board.
As we did see a Herald push coming in, do we see a dance? Nah, they're not gonna push it. No dancing Herald.
No dancing Herald.
Latara.
That is a pretty
That
tanky
is pretty
Leona.
good therapy ulti, but the turnaround just for Black Mambas is way too strong.
What is
Lugo
Lizzo
just gets
doing?
shotgunned down by the knees.
Going for
Ishan
it.
is hit by
Oh,
the,
Ishan is caught.
Oh!
You're beyond
This looks like
death,
the
and
end.
The Chronic is just gonna turret dive here as Phoenix
He's
just
not taking a soul.
gets absolutely obliterated. Has 0 tanky stack.
Mongo
Going,
versus the world
going
here.
full AP Maokai, but can't really survive with how much damage Black Mama's currently has. And let's take an end angle.
Looks like an end angle here. 22 minutes probably. Bongo trying to hold there. Get an extra kill. Got an extra kill there on.
Okay.
Oh, sniper.
Taking-
Over. Oh,
taking
sniper
tomatoes.
now gets executed.
He's padding the stats.
Oh, he's padding the stats.
He's
padding
gonna
the
rub it
stats.
into my face now.
Oh, sniper able to pick up an execution there. Are they gonna end it before? Oh!
They're still trying to go for fight
15
at the stats.
right. They're padding the stats as much as they can before end minions end, and it is over. A 3-0 dominant fashion here in the final game from Feaster Famine. Absolutely blowing out of water.
For
Out
Black
of
Mambas.
Or the Black Mambas.
Yeah, Feast of Famine really made that Silver Scrapes run, you know?
Yeah, they made the Silver Scrapes play, and
No, congratulations to Black Mambas for a really clean games tonight.
real clean game there towards the end. They definitely played. They definitely were the better team overall tonight, playing really well across the board, taking all those little plays, and I think they made a lot more of the micro plays that Feast or Famine just wasn't able to adjust to. And also, I don't know about you guys, but who do you think your MVP of the series is in this one? I think it's pretty obvious to me, but I'm curious about where your guys' opinions are at.
I don't know if I like can. Man, it's kind of like for me, it's regular season, playoffs, and like in my opinion, like final series here. It has to be Ida all around. Like nobody played better or had more impact the entire season than that
The
one man.
consistency as well.
Yeah,
So few good games.
I like. Go ahead. Sorry for that.
No, you're good. I was just gonna echo your thought or Harvey's thought. Like, how many games did he play poorly? I don't think he played any game.
I can besides like week 1 where they lost their only game of the season.
2 games. We got 2 games. Give us credit.
The only thing the Phoenixes have for them, going for them.
Let me
Can't take
cling to
credit.
this, please.
Besides like the loss to Phoenix, how many times have we seen this guy play bad? I can't recount really. I can't really like tell you how many games he played bad.
Yeah.
But besides that, it has to be like my MVP.
Yeah, I was gonna say my MVP for the series and probably my MVP for Emerald. Season 2. I think I would hand it over to Itaconic as well. I don't think we've seen many other players kind of mimic his level of success, just kind of across the board for the entire season. It's pretty easy to just go with him.
Yeah, I mean, what's it called? There were some junglers that could stand up to him, but it's like every week it's like, oh, which kind of jungler are we gonna get this week? Ida is like, all right, for sure, knowing he's gonna like run them over this week. So you know,
Mhm.
congrats to them. Honestly, they deserve it. They've been the better team all season long.
Yeah,
They have been.
and I will say congratulations to Feast or Famine. I don't think anybody counted them to make it to this point. We probably all expected them to get beat out in week one playoffs one where they
Quarterfinals.
quarters, whenever first time they're supposed to win that series against who did they play? I totally forgot it.
Lions, I think.
Lions.
Yeah, those
Lions,
Lions. That was the big upset where they lost. But beyond that, congratulations to them as well, making it to second place across the board, 6th seed all the way to finals. They were the Hopium dream. Fortunately, just not able to pull it off at the end.
Yeah. Really impressive, honestly. I mean, I kind of always had a feeling, Feast or Famine, if they did get past the Lions, it was absolutely like a winnable series for them. I'm happy to see them make it this far because they were another team that was actually like pretty interesting to watch throughout the season. Definitely had my eyes on them because I knew what they were capable of. But to go out 3-0, it's I would say it's not disappointing because obviously like Ida is kind of just goated, but they definitely did fight much better than what a lot of people expected.
Well, GG's all around and good night. Here I think that's unless we have any other closing thoughts from anybody else here on the desk.
No, that's all I really have to say. Really well played by Black Mambas, and congratulations on first place for season 2 of Emerald Draft League.
Yep, another fun season. Happy to be part of it.
Absolutely.
Hopefully,
I will try to be back. Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully we see everybody back if they decide to come back for season 3 of the Draft League. See you guys then.